One, and we're live! Welcome back to the Invictus stream! My name, as always, is Harlan, and I am here with my friend, the organized Chris, the saluting Justin, the empathetic Mycl.
I hope everyone's well. Actually, I sense you are.
And we are back with Call of Cthulhu Game 1, Part 5! As usual, we are so excited to be here tonight. We are in the heart, we are at the halfway point of our descent into madness. And we are all standing at the ready to see what kind of mysteries this horrible keeper throws at us. This is, of course, an 18-plus show. I want everyone to be very weary of that because, of course, we're going to say things like boob and pee and penis, and there's also a picture of two ladies masturbating behind me. Yes. So I want to make sure that everyone knows this is an 18-plus show, and there's mature themes and things of that nature. So if you feel like you are too, immature to understand that bad things exist in this world, then go ahead, log off, close the YouTube video. We totally understand. But before you do, give it a big old thumbs up because it makes Mike happy. It makes Mike want to live to see another day.
Yeah, it makes Michael show some more leg.
Oh!
And, by the way, I would also like to say my short shorts are not that short. They do go to my knees.
They're shorter than my shirt.
He's got really long thighs.
Yeah, his thighs are like a mile long. But he's also got the legs to support it. Oh, dude looks like a lady.
Holy moly.
Thank you, Michael, for showing your legs. So when you give us our videos on YouTube a thumbs up, you get to see Michael's legs, which is like the best reward ever. If we had a Kickstarter, that would be the first tier. Get Michael's legs, tier 1. $5 backers. So please go ahead and like the YouTube video. If you're there, go to our Twitter feed. Justin puts a lot of work into our awesome Twitter feed, tweeting all the cool people, and we follow a lot of cool people as well. So if you tweet, go to Twitter and tweet us so we can tweet you back, you twits. And also, if you have not at this point joined our Facebook group, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get over to Facebook and join our Facebook. We're dropping all pretense. Join our Facebook group because it's where all the cool shit happens. When you join our Facebook group, you get experience points that you can spend in a variety of ways. But more importantly, you get to be a part of a really awesome community. You get to be a part of the kind of people that post questions asking what you're playing this weekend, where you can have a dialogue with people about the game we're playing and try to solve things. And maybe you can win the most valuable post of the week by posting something really cool that creates a lot of community feedback. So, on that note, MVP this week is a two-way tie. Oh, wait. Yes. One of the best posts this week was a post by Hans Zieger called Musings and Suppositions. So, Hans, of course, you win MVP this week. So well done, excellent. However, I said it was a two-way because that post created a lot of great community feedback and talking, and it spiked Chris Lawrence to create a Google document that had all of the information for the campaign I'm writing, or that I've written, that includes contacts, questions, ideas, follow-up questions, and all of the supplements that I've been posting on the stream. So it blew my freaking mind, A, and secondly, it is awesome to see all you guys have a dialogue about what you think this means and what you think that means. So we are awarding the MVP to both of you, Hans for your original post, and Chris and Hans thereafter, to run with an idea and create a fantastic resource for these guys to use as well as the spiritual advisors. So well done, guys.
Very nice. Very cool.
And I'm going to be honest, that is exactly what I had hoped would happen, and I hope someone would take the initiative and start that because it's awesome to look through that, and there's a bunch of you there. Matthew has done a few things like that. Chris, Hans, Bob. There's someone else I'm missing that have added little bits of information. One called the Mysterious Benefactor, which I think is hilarious. Just someone, I guess, who thinks that they know the inside track, maybe one of these guys that's posting. Awesome. I love it, and keep it up. And you guys are helping these guys solve the mystery around, I guess I can't say, just the ominous sound thing. So MVP goes to Hans and Chris, 2-8 ties. You guys both get the same amount of experience points that we typically award for MVP. So well done, guys. On that note, every week we do a weekly enigma on the Facebook page. We post a little bit of a quiz, a little bit of a riddle, a little bit of a thing that makes you scratch your noggin to try to make you solve the enigma. This week we posted one called The 13 Paintings that I did. And I am surprised to say that we do have 2 winners. Oh, we do have 2 winners. That's the thing that I'm surprised about. We only have 2 winners. We got a lot of guesses. A lot of them were wrong on the first guess, but they got them on maybe the second or the third and things like that. But only 2 people got it right on the first try. So, without further ado, Yannick and Chris, you guys are the only 2 to win this week's Weekly Enigma. Well done. It was a tough one because there's a little, you had to think kind of outside the box, and hopefully you'll see it in tonight's game. Last week you didn't get to see Justin's Oriental Enigma in the game just because the guys didn't move as fast as we wanted them to. But they are in the game, they just might not get to where it is. Don't worry, we might have an episode where like 3 enigmas in a row. So well done, guys. Quick shout out to Chris's fantastic poem. The stanzas are added to the voting poll. So if you have not yet done it, go there right now and put in a quick vote for your favorite, and we will announce the winner very shortly. But before we announce it, just to give you guys a little bit of time to vote, I'm going to throw it over to our good friend Justin for this week's Twitter shout-out.
Thank you very much, Harlan. Today's Twitter shout-out is less of a Twitter shout-out and more of just a Kickstarter shout-out. But I am sure they are on Twitter, and I will find out for you guys and put their info on the info section of this video. But the reason I'm going off of Twitter is because this is a post. Someone posted about this. Jeff Wilkins posted Tales of the Caribbean, which is a Kickstarter campaign for a Call of Cthulhu expansion set. It's basically, yeah, it's a collection of jazz-era scenarios set across the Caribbean of the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. And they're offering a wide array of backer levels, some of which include special packages and exclusive items. So thank you, Jeff Wilkins, for posting that. Very cool. They have almost reached their $20,000 goal, and they still have 24 days to go. So if you are interested in a scenario book for Call of Cthulhu set in the Caribbean, then you'd want to check it
Down
out.
under, man.
Oh, man.
Wait.
Yeah. Coconut.
Like
Racism.
like the Caribbean cruise that they did in End of the World. Maybe it's along those lines. Huh? We gotta tag ourselves in this somewhere.
That was a good episode. People should go watch that episode.
Yeah, if you haven't seen our End of the World Caribbean cruise that these guys went on with zombies, go check it out right now because it was a fun game.
All right, so
excellent. Good shout out, Justin.
You are the Cthulhu shout out.
Excellent. Well done, guys. And you know what? I checked it out myself, and I am a long-time Kickstarter backer fanatic. I back much more than my wife would like, and and it is definitely one that I'm going to have to check out because I think it's something that I would also like. And who knows? Maybe we'll play one of their games, or maybe this game from this set later on in the future. So well done, guys. Fantastic stuff. And I think it was Green Goblin Press?
Green Goblin Press, yes.
Exactly, Green Goblin Press. Well done, guys. Keep up the good work. So, I hopefully gave you guys enough time to vote on the poem stanza that's going to be added into the book that Dr. Henry Armitage is currently attempting to transcribe with human blood, or something along those lines. So, if you haven't, too bad, because I'm going to read the winner right now. And I'm going to refresh my Facebook page and find out that the winner is me. So,
let's give the XP to the second place person.
This is just so well. You took my. I was totally going to award it. I was like a king.
You were going to keep it. You were going to keep it. You always keep it.
Well, I was totally going to. I was going to. We only have a finite amount of XP. I dole it to someone else. I don't get it.
You got to invest it.
No, so thank you all for voting for me. I voted for myself, so I'm selfish. But I was happy with what I did, and frankly, this week had a lot of fantastic submissions. So, first off, thank you to Bob, Evan, Yannick, Marcus, Chris, Aisha, and Joseph for all putting in your stanzas. They were awesome. And remember that the theme, the shadow, is continuing for the next 2 games, so you can always maybe reuse or tweak these a little bit and submit them in next week because, again, they were fantastic. However, as Chris mentioned, took the wind right out of my sails. I am going to award my XP to the second, to Bob Lyle. So, Bob, well done. Spend my XP wisely.
It's not worth that much because there's a conversion rate from Canadian XP to American XP.
There is. But actually, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know. We reward in Canadian XP, so really it's like $3.50. A $5 is like $3.50.
We're really trying to help our economy with exporting XP. We'll see.
Yeah, so currently it's not working very well, but we'll see how it works. So well done, Bob. And again, thank you to everybody who submitted it. It was fantastic and well done. Again, I want to do a quick shout out to everybody watching. Please, if you guys have not, head over to the Facebook group. We are posting the comment, or Chris has just posted the comment to like it for XP and comment below for feedback, information, things like that. As well as there's going to be a few supplements and handouts tonight that I'm going to be posting there. So if you want to be on top of your game and kind of know where these guys are heading and what they're doing, that's the place to see it. As Chris and Hans have put together that beautiful Google spreadsheet, I want to mention to check that out. And I also want to mention that everything they're doing here is a mystery. There are questions that need to be answered. And these guys, as smart and wise and sexy as they are, they're going to miss a lot of stuff. They're going to forget names. They're going to forget things like that. So if you have a question and you're watching, feel free to start a new comment thread and say, hey, you guys should totally check out this, you should check out that, because ultimately, you're spiritual advisors. You're there to help these guys on their path to solving the mystery. Even though we don't quite know exactly what the mystery they're looking to solve is just yet, but at least you can help them on their path to greatness. So, before we kick off the game, does anyone have anything else to say? Oh, there's the sheet. This is the sheet that Chris is sharing. Again, Hans and Chris did a fantastic job with this. It is loaded with information. Spoilers as well, so if you haven't finished all the episodes, make sure you watch them before checking this out. But it is just jam-packed with every bit of information that these guys can use. Now, that being said, investigators, don't spend too much time looking at it, because ultimately, none of you took that many notes, so you can't be like, okay, so let me just go, who's this? Where is this?
Yeah, it'll be better when
sketchbook.
When Hans and Chris are like, you guys are stupid. We knew all this stuff, and you didn't. It'll be way better.
It'll be more authentic.
Yeah.
All right. So without further ado, I will pull my Call of Cthulhu book out from the dusty shelf, and we'll read tonight's adventure. Oh, we're about halfway through now, aren't we? Call of Cthulhu Game 1, Part 5. Hello all. Welcome back to the Invictus stream. My name is Harlan, the Keeper, and I am here with Henry McFarland, Frank Underhill, and Jared Coombs. Let us descend into madness together. In the darkness, you hear a voice calling you, Henry. A soft voice, like that of a child. As the voice comes into focus, you hear the young girl call out your voice again. At first, you think it might be your daughter, but as you listen, you hear the voice. It sounds different, as if she wasn't a native English speaker. As her broken English calls out to you in the darkness, you feel a sense of dread. Frank, standing next to you in Roland's damp basement, bumps you out of your stupor. The slow hum of the freezer sounds behind you as you look over your shoulder to Jarrett. Slowly and masterfully, he traces each and every line on the page before him with a curious distance. He smiles quietly to himself as he looks over the almost headless corpse of Roland's wife lying in the freezer. Frank stares at you with a cold emptiness as the two of you watch him. The open files held loose in Frank's hand. You share the open page with Frank as you read it together. As a young boy, a few years ago, Jarrett watched a woman die and failed to help her. I think this morbid curiosity may motivate him to do further wrongdoings.
Is there anything else, Henry? Or is that it?
So as you look down at the open page before you, you do see a few notes written in Roland's handwriting, as well as the file that you were reading from pinned to the side of the actual folder. Sorry, the handwritten note, I should say. And I'm posting it right now on the stream.
Okie dokie.
And I'll screen share it for you guys.
Yeah, now Harlan, is this something they just, like, one of them just read out loud? Or are they just reading it to themselves?
Quietly to themselves, I believe they read it out loud, yes.
So would I do, like, some sort of, like, spot hidden, or I guess listen, to see if I heard them?
Yeah,
I mean, I understand that I'm, like, engrossed in this grossness and stuff. But...
For sure, no, give me a listen roll, and in the meantime, I will be sharing this.
Yeah, so I overhear them reading. And,
okay. So up from your sketch pad, you hear them read. You hear them speak your name. You hear the words, "As a young boy a few years ago, Jarrett watched," and you hear the words "die." And immediately your head shoots up and turns toward them as they continue looking at an open file before them.
Yeah, and I as I'm drawing my mechanical pencil again, because I'm like, as it's registering, I realize I'm pressing too hard, and the tip of my pencil breaks off. Because I remember that night, and I remember how horrible it was, and how I couldn't do anything to help. But
Jay, are you a coward?
What? Pardon? Are you calling me a yeller?
I'm not calling you yellow. I'm just saying I've seen you act bravely the last few nights. How can you explain the fact that you didn't help this woman?
Well, first of all, you weren't even there. You don't know the situation. You don't know what was going on.
Explain it to me, Jared. I see you drawing this woman, this dead woman over here, and you seem very keen to do so. Were you interested in seeing this woman dead as well? Wait, is it a woman?
Nothing about the piece of paper says woman specifically.
Who was it you saw?
You tell us, Jarrett. Was it?
Oh, sorry, no, it does say woman. My bad.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Jarrett, what happened? Explain to me what happened. You watched someone who needed help. You stood there and waited for her to die, and then did you draw her the way you drew this woman just now?
Well, no, I didn't. I didn't draw. No, I didn't even have my book and my pencils at that time.
Oh, whoa. The reason you didn't draw is because you didn't have the materials?
Well, slow down here.
I need to sit down, and I'm just gonna go and sit down in the corner a little bit.
Okay. So you walk over past Jarrett, who's standing in front of the freezer, kind of freaking out. You can see he's getting worked up by the questions, and Frank stands there with the file in one hand, just gazing at Jarrett with a fire behind his eyes.
Well, first of all, I think I think it's going to be totally fair to question me on this, but I'm not the only one with a file here. I'm just the one you guys chose to pick on. Like, do you guys not have your files there?
What else is in there, Jarrett?
I walk up to Jarrett and I hand him the file and I say, read it yourself. And I go back to the file cabinet and start rifling through for mine and Henry's files.
I do the same.
All right, so Jarrett, you are holding the file before you, and again, you kind of see the words that are written before it as Henry and Frank go rooting through the remaining of the files, and you guys see the numbers that were written in Roland's diary or journal, I should say, associated with certain names. You see the name Edward Mason, you see the name Frank Nelson Underhill. And then you see a final folder which just says leverage on it.
Sorry, who is... So we have Edwards as well?
Yes, there is a file there that says Edward Mason.
Let's pull that one out.
I pull all of them out.
Okay.
And I put the Henry and mine in the middle of the floor, stacked on top of each other.
Okay.
And I say to Henry, let's look at Edwards first. We'll worry about these ones after.
Okay, perfect. So, Jarrett, what are you doing as you're looking down at your file?
Well, at this point, Harlan, again, that fear that I experienced that first night, it's I'm verklempt. I'm feeling it again, and I can't actually act at the moment. I'm a little bit paralyzed right now.
Okay, perfect. So you kind of are stricken with fear as your past is basically hurled at your face. And Henry and Frank kind of walk around you with an uneasy space, as if giving you room to breathe, as they see the thoughts flicker behind your eyes. And in the dark cellar, they walk over to the files, bend down, and they pick up the file that says Edward Mason. And I posted all the files in their entirety on the Facebook page just for sake of ease, but this is Edward's file.
All right, I'm going to read it out loud for you, Jarrett. Maybe we can figure something out. Edward Mason. I don't know a damn thing about this guy, writes Roland. As far as I can tell, he showed up in Arkham last year sometime. I've been to his place, and it has less personality than a soda cracker, and yet the guy acts larger than life. I watched him fight the other night for the first time, and goddamn, this guy can pack a punch. I did, however, think I might have seen something behind his eyes, a flash of white heat when he was fighting, almost clever. Cold and calculating, and yet when you talk to him he seems about as bright as a dead matchstick. Yeah, that's Edward, all right. I don't know about him, but I can't seem to find anything to leverage him with. Be honest, I don't know if he'll need it. Watching this guy in the street, it's like he's itching for a fight. When it comes to getting in the ring, all you have to do is ask. That'll be the same for me. I'm going to catch him at Marco's gym tonight after his fight.
A spit.
Marco's gym.
Seems to me that Roland didn't know Edward was, well, obviously. Yeah.
He didn't really need leverage with Edward.
Well, he was a psychopath. I don't think anyone needs leverage to get someone to kill someone else when you're a psychopath. Anyways. What else does it say? What else we got there? That one didn't really help us at all. Oh, I mean, we got the gym we can go to.
Yeah, Marco's gym.
Maybe we should go talk to Marco.
Well, hang on, guys. I'm sorry, but Would you guys be willing to share your files? I think it's fair.
I'm willing, Jarrett. Or Frank, sorry. We did read Jarrett's after all.
Well, I don't see what the use is. We've been through this already together. All of
Well, I think again, I think we were there when Edward snapped and started killing us. Again, we don't know each other all that well. I think it's a good way to start building a little trust. You got something hidden. I think it's something that we you should. I understand. Believe me, I just had this dropped on me, and it's hard. It's wicked hard. But I think it would be a good show of faith there, Frank.
Don't you think so, Frank?
Whoever this person was, Roland, whatever information he has on us, it could be completely false, which is why I'm not taking it personally on Jarrett.
Well,
sure, you've got curiosity, whatever, but you really feel that this is the best way to get to know someone by reading a file that someone took secretly about a person?
Frank, don't you think it's going to even the playing fields? I mean, we just...
Even the playing fields? This isn't a game.
No, it's not.
This isn't a game, Henry.
Not
okay,
a game, but if we're going to work together, Frank, I don't think we should have these things hidden. I mean, poor Jarrett, he didn't have a chance. We just read it.
So here's the other thing, Frank.
Unless you got something
Maybe
to hide.
Roland.
Frank, why are you so defensive?
Edward said this is bigger than all of us. This is bigger than all of us understand. What if he's not the only one? What if Roland's not the only one willing to use this leverage? I don't think this is something that should come up to us by surprise. I think if we know about it ahead of time, I think it would be in our advantage rather than have someone spring something on us.
In our advantage or in your advantage?
Jared, do those glasses even have lenses in them? Someone said on the post, is really funny. How can we trust you?
Yeah,
You look smart, but you're just faking it. I want to do a spot hidden check on the files. See if Edwards had anything more hidden. That's what someone asked me to do, and I think it's not a bad idea.
Sure, give me a spot hidden roll.
If there's anything there, I'd see it. No,
Okay.
I wouldn't. I'd fail. Sorry. Never mind.
Okay. So you have no idea, and the file bursts into flames in your hand.
Ah! Turns out I'm a pyro. All right.
So I stoop down
I can't hear you.
and...
I missed that. I heard you say I stooped down.
Oh, I stoop down and I grab my file.
Okay.
And I say, Jared, I know it's unfair, but let me read it over first. And I promise I will be honest about everything that I find in there that is true. There may be things in there that aren't true, that are completely bullshit. The stuff that I read about you might be completely bullshit. But I don't want you guys to be making assumptions about me based on what this fuck had in his file cabinet. I'm a private man. I don't like information being shared about myself.
Keep calm and carry on. That's perfect.
What's this?
His mug just came in a frame. It said, "Keep calm and carry on." All right, so Frank is refusing to share his information.
Just let me read it first. Let me see
Okay,
what
at
it
this
says.
point, I'm gonna again work through my anxieties going on here, and I'm gonna go back to sketching this lady,
Okay.
and then maybe even turn and be sketching Henry and Frank just standing in the basement. Oh, sorry, in the cellar.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay, so
I ask Jared. You say you didn't have your materials with you. Do you mind if I look through your book to see if that's true?
Yeah. I got nothing to hide there. You've been with me every time I've sketched something.
Well, maybe you do have. I'm sorry, Jared. I mean.
Yeah, take it. Again, I want to also show Frank. I got you seen it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm ashamed that I couldn't have done better. I really am. And yeah, Henry. But Frank, it's actually, you'll see. It's why I'm drawing. It's why I draw this stuff. It's how I work through it. I don't know any other way. It was. I did talk to a man at one point, someone I met through the school, and he was very kind, and he helped me work through this. And this was actually his suggestion, that I find a way to deal with the fear. And as you could see, when Eddie snapped and we were in that church cellar, I didn't freeze completely. I was able to try to use my flashlight to distract him, but I couldn't act more than that, and I couldn't help you guys. And I'm sorry. I really am. I wanted to do more. I wanted to help more, but I couldn't. And now
Jared,
that's why I do this now. It's how I work through the fear.
Jared, we've all done things that we wish we hadn't. I just need to know that if we're going to be facing this stuff, what I can expect from you. And if I can expect you to be a coward, then so be it.
I got to be honest. I can't promise nothing. I will try, and you guys gave me Eddie's revolver, and I carry it, but I don't know if I could use it.
Stick to your books, Jared.
Remember in the cellar with the crazy lady, all I did was hide behind the door until you guys dealt with it. I'm really sorry, guys, but that's all I got right now. I'm not a hero.
Where did you get that book?
Which book are you talking about?
Your diary.
The diary? The diary is... That's from my grandfather.
Jared.
It's really all yeah, Frank?
Sorry to interrupt. You're not a hero. I know. Neither am I. Truth be told, I'm scared. I'm fucking scared. I wish that I never got pulled into this damn situation at all. I don't want to deal with this shit. You think I want to be facing the things that we've faced the past couple days? Seeing the deaths? But we're in too deep. We're in too deep to back away now. We're being forced to be heroes. Or something. I don't know what the fuck we are. But we're being forced to figure out what the hell is going on, or we're gonna die or go insane. I don't know. But I do know I can't do it alone. Henry, Jarrett... I can't right now, but I need to be able to trust you. I know that deep down, if I can do that, then maybe we have a better chance of figuring out what the hell is going on. So here, and I hand out my folder to Jarrett.
Okay, so Frank sticks his hand out with the folder towards you, Jarrett.
And thank you, Frank.
All right, and do you want to read it out loud?
No, I do not at this point.
Okay.
I will actually. I will actually defer to Henry, and I will pass it on to Henry.
Okay. Henry, with a nervous uneasiness, you take the folder from Jarrett and you glance at Frank, seeing the shame behind his eyes, and you begin reading the folder.
Joe, you want to hear this?
I'm gonna go upstairs at this point.
Okay.
I understand that it needs to be out, and I'm good with you reading it, but I'm gonna go upstairs, and I think at the point when Frank is ready to let me hear it,
No,
then
Jared,
he can tell me himself.
Jared, just stay. Just stay here. I want to go upstairs myself, but we might as well all hear it.
Frank Nelson Underhill. Previously, I was thinking that there may be a chance his wife had been... Anyways, there's a bit of awkwardness at their dinner the other night, and I find him very tense around her. I was right. However, it is Frank that is having an affair with a young woman from his office. I believe he has stopped it, but from what I can tell, their marriage is on the rocks. I'm not sure how his wife Ellen found out, but I'm sure she's going to leave him for it. Frank is an odd combination of angry and yet compassionate and passionate. It seems there is nothing he wouldn't do for her, and yet he's cheated on her. He's definitely motivated and feels remorse. Since she's already aware, I can't use it as leverage. However, his love for her is true. I can tell he would do almost anything for her. I may need to interject here. My daughter's life is at stake.
So an echo of your voice just kind of reverberates off the walls of the cellar as you each stand around. You see Frank looking down at his feet, almost ashamed of what was just read. And as you quietly slide the folder back into the files, you notice the last one, labeled Leverage, and you decide to complete the set to read the last file out loud as well.
Frank, what does the last one say?
Yeah, it says, I have Henry 100%. Frank will be motivated to help me find his wife's killer. Edward has said yes, and Jarrett is still tailing me. It's still not enough. Well, all but Henry. I need to back them into a corner. I need to be able to motivate them should I need it, and the only thing I can come up with, the only way I can get them all on my side at the time is if I make them commit some heinous act together. Like the executioner pulling the switch. I need them all to do it together, and that way they have no out. Even if they run, I have something to wave over their heads.
I get sick and to my stomach at this.
I keep reading as Henry retches in the corner. How far have I sunk? But it'll all be worth it to get my daughter back. Now I have to find this little girl. I'm watching Savini's place from across the street. Hope they don't take all night to get him to me.
You don't think that Savini was innocent, do you?
How could he have been? We went to his place.
I don't know, maybe it was all set up.
Yes, Roland is the calculating type. He might... No,
well,
because
what
code
said
wouldn't
is
have
that
been on the door.
they needed something that we'd all be in on. He probably had Sabini's body somewhere. Maybe I killed him, executed him. He's gonna use it as leverage.
Well, he's got us in as far as we can now. I don't think there's much backing out. Doesn't matter about the leverage anymore. Savini's history, the fact that he manipulated us and had more ideas to manipulate us, is completely irrelevant now that he's dead. Roland, that is.
Frank, what leverage did he have on you?
Revenge.
Jarrett?
He didn't have any leverage on me. I just had to know. for many years I've been well, for a while I've been since I got my grandfather's diary, and I've been reading through, and it talks about so many things that are so foreign to what we know, and I had to know, and I started going to crime scenes and studying and seeing if these were acts of humans or monsters like we saw in that cellar, and I think he just knew that he would be able to lure me in with just the knowledge.
Yeah, that's how he manipulated you. That was his leverage, your unquenchable thirst for knowledge. Does that sound about right, Jarrett?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Well, where do we go from here? There still could be a little girl out there.
Roland's little girl.
And what you've seen from the house, it does look like the little girl was taken. Her room was a little bit in shambles. And we did a spot hidden over the house. But now we're in the basement. Why doesn't someone give me a spot hidden?
Go for it. I'll go for it. That would be a success.
Brilliant. Okay. So you're looking around the basement and trying to find any sort of sign that maybe whoever was down here left some sort of clue. However, unfortunately, you don't see much. You do notice that there are scratches, odd scratches on the bottom step. But upon a closer look, you do see that they are marks from an animal, most likely a dog that you did not see in the house, nor in the backyard when you searched.
Is it clearly a dog? Like it's not like oddly spaced, like giant scratch marks?
No, you're pretty confident that is just a household dog, a larger dog maybe, German Shepherd of sorts, but no, definitely just a dog.
Is there any indication that there was a dog that lived here?
Yes. So you continue looking around after glancing at the bottom step, and you share the information with Frank and Jarrett. You look around the walls, and you do see that the dog was probably kept in the basement on days of thunderstorms and things like that, and it reacted by scratching walls and howling and things like that. So, and now that you know that there is a dog, you piece together things you had seen upstairs, small nicks that would pretty much be unnoticeable unless you were aware, and you'd assume that, yeah, Roland and his family did have a dog.
I was just looking for like a food bowl or something like that.
Yes, there was no food bowl upstairs for whatever reason, but maybe it dined at the dinner table with them.
Fair enough.
All dogs go to heaven.
Okay, so we've got a dog now. There's a dog here. There used to be a dog here. Is that important?
Maybe it's with the little girl.
All right. So now we just have to track the dog.
Let's. Do you think that? Why is this body in the freezer? You think that it's Roland putting her there because he can't let her go?
Hey, Jarrett.
Yes, sir.
Did you finish that sketch?
Yes, sir.
Did you notice if all the parts were accounted for? As disgusting as it sounds. Was everything there? Do we have a whole human?
Let me review my etchings and ask the keeper.
So you take a look at the body in the freezer, and you want to make sure nothing was missing off of it? Is that what?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you don't need to do a spot hidden since you just traced it, basically. No, it looks like the body is intact, and after staring at it blankly for a few minutes and drawing it, you surmise that the letter you read that was sent to Roland indicated not to contact the police. And when you have a body and you can't get rid of it, he most likely just kept it here because there was really nowhere else to put it, especially with the kind of heat that Arkham had been having lately.
True. Okay. Well, I don't know, guys. You think we've pretty much exhausted this place?
Yeah, I think we got to move on to the next. Where to next? Marco's, the gym, Mrs. Katowski's, Mr. and Mrs. Katowski's, Edward's place, or Ida Stanzik? Is that right?
Ida Stanzik? There's Anna Stanzik.
Anna Stanzik.
Anna Stanzik is the name of the young girl who wrote the diary pages.
Oh,
in
right. So we're not gonna find her anyway. That's a long time ago.
And yeah, I want to also follow one of my spiritual advisors, and maybe we should check for this dog, because maybe the dog needs looking after.
So you did check the whole house and
But would
the
you
backyard.
check the backyard?
Yes, and the backyard, and there was no sign of the dog. And again, you surmise that this dog is nowhere to be found. It may have run away, but there's no indication that it's been here for any amount of time.
I think we should go to the gym then and maybe follow up and see if we can get a residence for Eddie.
Yeah.
Because again, he seemed to be in on something weird.
Okay. So, now, is there anything you want to take from the house to your quest?
I'm curious about that one piece of paper in Jarrett's folder. It said Dr. Rudy Kindred.
Okay. Yeah, you can snag that off and keep that.
Yeah. Does that name sound familiar to either of you?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna.
Dr. Rudy was the man that I when I first saw that lady die.
Right.
And Dr. Rudy Kindred was the doctor that I went to, and I told everything about and helped me work through, and was the one.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I missed that.
That's okay.
Okay.
I would like to look around the house to see if there's any money.
Money? Okay, sure, yeah. So you check around the house, a few sock drawers, and give me a spot hidden. Actually, give me a luck.
Nope.
No. Mind you, you did find $500 in his office, so...
Well, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Is there anything else you want to take before you leave?
What about the kids' room?
Picture of the little girl.
Ah, there you go. Now you're thinking like an investigator. Yes, so you snag a picture of the young girl. Because who the fuck knows what she looks like?
Is that her?
She looks like a little girl.
I do believe that was one of the reasons why we came here in the first place.
Yes. So you got a picture of the little girl, and on the back is written Delphine and Sarah, and the picture is not just of the little girl, but also of a woman who you assume would be Roland's wife.
Well, does she look like what I just sketched?
Yeah. Well,
was
you
she
didn't grab it. Henry grabbed it. He didn't even really look in the thing.
So,
no, but it is Henry's
would
wife.
I assume which one does the body look like? Does it?
The bigger one.
So, sorry, ignore that. I was like brain farting. I should have probably muted my mic there.
No, but it does. You can tell immediately that the larger woman is dead in the freezer.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah, not the girl.
What a piss up. I don't know what I was saying.
This much bigger.
Okay, so you exit Roland's house and make your way to Frank's car, as you all share a bit of a solemn glance between the three of you. Now a little more...
Sorry, I do want to go back a second, because the reason I was asking that wasn't registering correctly, and what I wanted to know was, do we know the name of the daughter?
Yes.
Is the daughter Delphine or Sarah?
I'm going to say that...
Because... like we would have had to find something to identify which. That's what I was trying to say. Is the body Sarah or is the body Delphine?
You can. There is probably a way you can check.
And that's what I was thinking. We'd have to look around for like other things, like letters to his wife or something?
Reports.
Okay, so you take a quick look around, and by the front door you do see, sorry, I should say on the office table, you see a small stack of mail. Some of it opened, some of it unopened. And give me a spot hidden through there.
Is that going to be Henry again?
I
No,
can do it.
you do it.
Okay.
No, you already got your spot hid.
I'm gonna practice
Oh, it's
jumping.
like super critical.
Is it super critical? Interesting. Okay, well, you look through the mail and you find a piece of mail addressed to Roland and Delphine Cummings. So by the process of elimination, but because you are lucky, because you scored so successfully, you notice something else. In an opened piece of mail, you notice a very faint insignia on an open piece of mail. And the insignia looks like this.
Ah.
And you look inside, and it is completely opened. And after kind of pondering it for a few minutes, you assume that this is the letter that the coded message was sent from. However, the piece of information you gather by finding this is that it was sent July the 18th.
July 18th.
Okay, so I gotta like back up a little bit because I can't remember that little calendar that you posted.
That's okay.
How is that relative to anything in those dates?
You'll have to find out later. Well, no, that's for the viewers who might be watching. Chris or Hans, you guys might have it open. You can always pump that date in and just have it as a memento. But either way, right, for your pertinent investigation right now, it doesn't seem too important. But now we know. All right, is there anything else you guys want in this house?
Do we need any materials or anything? So,
Well, did Roland had some weapons, so do we need more bullets or anything?
Yeah, I mean, he'd probably have a gun locker if you needed more bullets, but most of your weapons have at least the clip and a bit more.
okay. Can I check the lighter I have for fuel and see if I can refuel it?
Sure. Yeah. So you're standing in the office next to the pile of mail, and you open a few drawers, and third drawer down, you do find a little canister of fuel. You pop open the bottom and start filling it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I
What else
don't
do
really
people
want
need?
to take anything else because to me it belongs to this data now.
I'm gonna look for flashlights. I think we can give it back to her if we ever find her.
You find 3 flashlights.
Yeah.
Well
What?
done. This is the first time in Call of Cthulhu history that it took the investigators 5 games to get light. Oh, I love it.
We had it covered.
We've solved the mystery.
Yeah.
All right. That's everything I think we need. I think Harlan knowingly thinks there's other stuff we could find or could use, but
How about like a sandwich?
ooh.
I'm
All right, so
fancy.
you leave the house.
Well,
Okay,
hold on, guys. Sorry, Keeper, but
okay.
technically this is a crime scene. Maybe we should try to cover up our tracks a bit.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Just wipe down things that we've touched. I mean, it's going to be hard because we weren't really thinking about it when we came in, but
Yeah, I don't know if we do we have to work that hard. I can't remember. Do they have like fingerprint and stuff in the 20s?
They don't, but you give a cursory wipe down to everything and shut the freezer door and make sure everything is
Dog
kind
comes
of
back. That's terrible.
And I'm going to go on a limb and say you remove all the files so that if the cops do come here, they don't start asking, well, what? Get this guy in here. Safe to assume?
yes, I
Good.
would say so.
So yeah, you give it a cursory wipe down, you make sure everything is spick and span, and you exit. So as you step out on Roland's kind of front walk, you get a glimpse of the outside air, and it's still pretty much early afternoon, probably. And you make your way to your car, and you start up the car, Frank, and the three of you look at each other, and it was Marco's gym you were deciding to go to?
Yeah.
Perfect. So you decide to go to Marco's gym, which is the location that Roland had jotted down in Edward's file as the location to find him at. So you putter away from the suburbs and head back to downtown Arkham. And you pull up on the side of the road, exit the vehicle, and enter Marco's gym. The building itself is a one-story building, very flat top, not too large, about the size of maybe a basketball court and a half, in a very grubby neighborhood, which most of Arkham is. But again, you almost miss the sign because it's faded red paint on the side of the cement building, and the barred door clangs loudly as you open it and step in. And you're happy to escape the sweltering pavement as you enter Marco's. The sweet, salty scent of sweat pierces your nostrils, and immediately you can tell that this place is a bit of a hole-in-the-wall joint. Very little proper training equipment, but the 10 or so people using the gym seem to all know what they're doing. In the center of the large room is a regulation-sized boxing ring, and along the walls you see various sets of equipment, all either out of date or rusted. To the back you see a small office with a large window on the wall, and a man with a large cigar sits behind the counter, just reading a newspaper. Again, on the other side of the room behind some glass.
Alright, I walk in and make my way past all the people fighting and...
And I'm going to keep myself, like, sort of in between Frank and Henry, because I don't like all the hitting and stuff, because it reminds me of my grandfather, and even the smell.
Okay.
I'm not very comfortable. Yeah.
I'm gonna look for a bookie.
Okay. You kind of take a look around, and you being pretty familiar with these places know that they don't take bets in this actual place, at least not during off-fight hours. But you probably could surmise that you could meet someone to make a bet if you knew who to talk to.
At another time, though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so is there someone here? Okay.
Woo!
I think we found the dog.
We found the dog.
Okay, so Edward and Jarrett, you head back. Jarrett, you're very nervously. You tuck close to Frank as you kind of walk past the men who are. Again, there's a few guys play fighting in the ring.
And we go to the front desk, the bar where the guy is.
Perfect. So he's actually behind. He's in basically a small office, which is enclosed minus the window, and there's a large wooden door that's open, maybe about a crack.
Okay. And I. It's open a crack. I can go in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I knock on the door.
Okay.
And do I hear a respond? Does he respond?
And you hear a kind of a loud, yeah.
And I say, mind if I come in for a minute?
Yeah.
All right. So I go in, and Jarrett, do you follow?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna look around for a locker that says Edward on it or something.
Okay. So you.
While they're doing that.
Yeah, you kind of poke around, and there aren't lockers per se, but there are small cubby holes. There's no labeling on them, but there's maybe 16 on the wall. And if you want to give maybe a spot hidden or some sort of education while these guys are talking, we'll come back to you and see if you find anything. So
I also want to keep an eye out for any other exits, just in case I need to get out of here quickly.
Okay. So you do see that there is a fire exit door on the far side of the training floor, I suppose. It is a bit of a jog, but you can make it out there, no problem, should it need to be. So as you guys enter the small room filled with cigar smoke in kind of a haze, the heavy-set man sits up and places his newspaper down and folds his large, thick, hairy arms across his chest, and you see immediately he's a shaven head guy with a large, jowls and a broken nose, and he kind of just looks up at you expectantly.
Afternoon, sir. My name's Frank Underhill.
Frank?
You run this place?
That I do. At least my name's on the sign for now.
And I glance at the sign.
Marco's gym.
Marco, okay.
Hi, Jim. Nice to meet you.
You think you're funny, eh, kid? No,
Marco, nice to meet you. I'm wondering if you could answer a few questions that I have about.
and as you're talking, he kind of holds out his hand at an open chair before his desk.
Oh, okay. I take a seat.
Yeah. Jarrett?
I stay by the door and kind of keep an eye on the conversation and to see if anyone else is coming in.
Okay.
I want to get into sponsorship, and I just wondered if you had any experience with that. I'm sure you do. People coming in with a little money, hoping to support a boxer or someone here.
Yeah, it happens from time to time. Most of the time, if we ever have something like that, money usually goes in before a fight. Is that what you're getting at?
Well, yeah, just to help a boxer get off his feet. And I'll be honest, I have a friend who's trying to get me into this, and he saw a boxer that sounds very promising, and I'd like to meet him. I heard that he goes to this gym.
And actually, sir, I apologize for interrupting, but I think just to make sure we're on the level, just to make sure we're not talking about betting, he's actually talking about helping this boxer and supporting him and making sure he's got all the right equipment and stuff to train.
That's right.
Oh, I get you. Well, yeah, no, there's a few guys like that are pretty good. You looking for a recommendation, or are you looking for a guy in specific?
Well, who would you recommend? My friend recommended someone, but maybe you have a better suggestion?
Yeah, well, there's a few out there. Malcolm's pretty good. He's got a good left hook. Alex he's hit and miss. Eddie's always good for a fight. But I mean, if you're looking for a sure thing, maybe Malcolm actually. He'd probably be your best bet.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned Eddie. That's actually the person that my friend recommended.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's a good kid.
He's very calculated, from what I understand today.
Yeah, let me tell you, he's got. I seen that kid fight. He's got something. He doesn't look like much, but you can see him. He's working it out. As he's dancing around the ring, you can see he's. Now I'm more of a heavy hitter, as you can see, and he kind of slaps his gut and it ripples a little bit. He says, "Back in my day, before this got broken 10 or 12 times, I was the guy who could take 100 punches and then let one go, and the guy, one of those tire him out." Eddie's a heavy hitter. He's still light on his feet. He'll never be big, but I'll tell you, he sizes him up. He knows when to strike, and that's the thing about Eddie. He knows when to hold him and when to fold him, as they say.
Interesting. Well, I'd very much like to speak to him. And Malcolm, you recommend as well. Is Malcolm here today?
Yeah, Malcolm's out on the floor, but I haven't seen Eddie in a few days. Usually comes in a few times a week, 4 or 5 sometimes, but I haven't seen him. I don't know where he is.
Do you have an address or phone number I could reach him at?
Yeah. You seem like a good guy. Put it this way. I believe you're earnest, but Eddie's a good kid, and I'll be honest, the way he gets a little hot-headed at times, I don't know if he's always on the up and up. Now, I trust you, and I think you're upfront about your needs, but if you're not who you say you are and you're looking to track him down because he owes you some money or because he slept with your girl, I gotta know that I'm not screwing my friend over. So,
of course, I do a credit rating check.
That's exactly what he needs. Okay, and as you're doing that, Chris, you're walking along the walls, sizing up the cubby holes, taking a look at what you see, and did you succeed?
Yes, it did.
Perfect.
It was a hard success too.
Ooh, okay. So you take a look around, and you see a cubby hole, and it's got some gloves in it, and based on the size and some of the other things that are in the other compartments, you have a pretty good guess, well, 80 to 85% chance that this is Eddie's cubbyhole. So you take a quick look and you see the boxing gloves, and you can smell the sweat on them and old, stains of blood and things like that. There's also a pair of shoes.
Can I check inside I would check inside them and stuff like that. It's just to take a look around.
Yeah, of course. So you take a look inside the shoes. You kind of peel up the heels a little bit, and they seem pretty ordinary.
Yeah.
You do find a empty water bottle with no labeling on it, and you see a small coffee cup, which looks like it's got some old brown stained coffee in it. Might have been used for water.
Okay, I smell the water and I look at the coffee cup, and
so the water seems pretty straight up, and the coffee cup is blank white, except that on the bottom it says Tony's Diner. So, Frank, as you are sitting there, did you succeed your credit check?
I did.
Okay, so you flashed a few Benjamins at Marco.
Was that really a question?
Well, he might have just thought you were playing big, but he genuinely believes that you might be pretty well off. So he kind of begrudgingly nods and says, "Yeah, you can." Last I heard of Eddie, he was staying at a diner around the corner. He was sleeping in the basement. He rented the room. Again, the kid's pretty low key, but yeah, that's about it.
Basement at a diner, sorry, you said, Harlan?
Yeah, a diner around the corner named Tony's Diner. He rented a basement there. I saw him by chance there late night. They're open 24 hours, so I went by one night to see, what their blue plate was, and I saw him there, and we got to talking, and like I said, he was a good kid.
Do you know this? Do you know this Tony guy?
No, not personally.
Is it a Tony that owns it? Do you know?
Yeah, no, it's a Tony that owns it. He's I don't know if I'd go mess with him. I don't know much about him, but.
All right, well, Marco, that's all I need. Thank you very much. I'm going to pop out and speak with Malcolm. And,
yeah, of course. I think he's actually in the ring practicing right now with some kid. I don't know.
All right, I'll take a watch. Thank you very much. And I hold my hand out to shake.
And he shakes your hand and he pops the cigar back in his mouth.
Really, thank you for your time, sir.
No, don't mention it. Hey, if you can help the kid get his legs, get him standing for a few fights, I think that'll be thanks enough.
Yeah, you're really swell. Thank you.
Yeah. Little does he know he's lying in a ditch, miles up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Weekend Edwards.
I see the guys come out of the office, and I make my way over to them. I say, "Listen, I found a coffee cup in the locker that said Tony's Diner. I don't know if that's significant or anything."
As it turns out, it is significant. It seems that Eddie is staying at this diner in a basement apartment there.
Do you think we should take it with us just in case to maybe give it back to the owner as an excuse to be there?
Well, it's a diner. Yeah, we might as well. Yeah, that's a good idea. It might be we might be able to have some extra sway with that.
Sure.
And
tell me all you know, I'll give you.
I'll give you a cup back.
Yeah.
Who's Cthulhu, or I'll break the cup.
So where are the fights happening? What are the fights doing?
No, in the center of the room. There's the regulation-size boxing ring, and you see two guys. One larger guy looks like he knows what he's doing. A younger kid, thin, white, with the boxing helmet on, which they didn't really use back then. And the larger guy's kind of dancing around, and no one's really watching. You can tell he's just kind of practicing because the kid's got mitts on.
Okay, fair enough. And I lead my head over to Henry and say, "All right, this guy's Malcolm. He is apparently the best boxer here. And I tell him basically what I said, that I'm a sponsor, and we'd like to get some information. Maybe he knows something about him.
Okay. This is what you say to Henry, or this is what you say to Malcolm?
Henry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how's the little guy doing?
Little guy, you can tell, is just kind of a water jockey. He's just taking the hits. He's doing fine. A little nervous every time the hit comes, but you can tell he probably works for the gym or maybe just volunteers here on a weekend. He's pretty young, younger than you. And, yeah, scrawny little kid taking hits. He seems fine, though.
Because that fascinates me that he's so little and standing up to it and doing fine. And I'm thinking I'm liking this boxing thing now.
And Henry, what do you think? Do you think we should go straight to the diner or speak to this Malcolm guy? I don't know if the sponsorship thing will work so well on Eddie's.
No, I don't think so either, but you might be able to get more information about Edward here, you think?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we should just play it straight. Give some guy some money to tell us what he knows about Edward. We could still act as a sponsor or someone looking for talent.
Mm-hmm.
Give some money to say Malcolm or one of the trainers and be, what do you think?
Yeah, we could probably work it.
All right. Let me give it a shot. So I'm gonna look for the guy probably coaching Malcolm or giving pointers maybe.
Malcolm doesn't look like he's got a coach. He looks like he's just there on his own.
Is there any trainers in the gym? He looks like.
No. Again, everyone's kind of doing their own thing. The only person that looks to be a support person is the kid he's sparring with.
All right. Well, I'll go over to the ring and I'll just rest on the ropes and wait till he takes a break.
Sure. Frank, did you want to say something? Sorry.
Oh no, I was going to tap Henry on the shoulder, but then I just remembered that he found $500.
Right. He's loaded. Okay. So yeah, Malcolm is sparring with the young kid in the ring. And let's cue up the boxing sound effects. The doy. There we go. So he's sparring with the young kid in the ring and letting him in a few punches. You see, the kid's taking it pretty well. Jarrett kind of walks up next to you, doe-eyed, and kind of says, you can see that Jarrett, from when he walked into this place and to how he's seeing the scrawny kid taking licks, this place probably means something more to him than just a regular boxing. Or a regular gym. Anyway, so after a few minutes, you can see Malcolm getting tired, and with kind of an exasperated gasp, he drops his arms, smiles at the kid, scruffs his head, and leaves the ring right next to you.
I grab a towel and I throw it to him.
And he catches it, and he kind of nods. He said, "Thanks." He turns.
Malcolm, is it?
Yeah. And you can see he's removing his gloves as he's talking to you.
Minute of your time?
What's that?
Can I have a minute of your time?
Yeah. Go.
I'm a big fan of boxing. I particularly like to bet on boxers, and you seem like you're quite talented. You got any big fights coming up?
And he kind of laughs at it and he says, yeah, I got a few coming up next weekend, but I'm not the guy to manage the money. If you want to do that, maybe talk to Marco in there or someone else. I just fight.
Well, maybe I like a little bit more inside information maybe about the talent. I heard Eddie is a good fighter. Maybe you could let me know about him.
So he goes a bit quiet, and as he's removing his gloves, and he takes them off, and he kind of says,
I start I take out some cash, and I start going through it. I was like, maybe there's something I could do to help you, give me a little inside track about him.
So he looks at the cash, and he looks at you. Roll a persuade, or bluff, or whatever you want.
Well, it's not necessarily a bluff, because I'm being honest that I would give him money for it, so I'll persuade.
Okay.
Big fail.
Oh my god. So he kind of looks his nose down at you. Not rudely, but just like, man, I don't know you from Adam, and I'm not the kind of guy who gets bought off by flashing bills in my face. But look, you want to know something about Eddie? Ask Marco in there. I don't want to talk about him. And he takes off his gloves and he starts walking away.
I get the impression that I burned him a little bit. I walked back to Frank. I said, "Sorry, man. I tried my best."
I think we'll be okay with the information we have.
We want to go to Tony's Diner?
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's go!
So, it's only
hang
two
on.
blocks.
Can we just take a couple seconds here?
course.
And it's nothing. Well, I know we got to get the girl, but I just want to like get a couple things here as I'm etching away.
Okay.
Oh. Jared, come on, you can do that later. You can come back. You've only got so much daylight.
What is he etching? Is he etching the little boy?
No, actually, just very quickly, I don't know if you can, just little like boxing stances and stuff, and looking for like techniques and shit,
Fancy.
and just seeing like the way they hold themselves, and just.
So you're kind of drawing, and Frank grabs you by the scruff of your neck and starts pulling the door. And says, "Come on."
Jared.
And
So
so
it's like shadow boxing on the way out, like a little kid.
I can do it. I can do it. Let me in there. So you guys, it's a few blocks away. You can walk or drive.
Might as well drive.
Okay. So you load up in the car again. The heat is sweltering, and the minute you get back outside, it is like a frying pan. And you get into the car, roll down the windows to survive the stuffiness, and you drive over to Tony's Diner. The diner is on the corner of one of the busiest streets in downtown Arkham, right in the core. A drugstore, a barber shop, a cafe, all sit around it in close proximity. And you exit the car and walk in. And as you walk in, you see a waitress come over to you, beads of sweat, perspiration on her forehead, and she stares blankly at you. "Well," she says almost expectantly, as you kind of each look amongst yourselves, until she huffs and she points at a large sign that you seem to have missed. It says, "Tell our waitress whether you'd like a booth or a table."
Oh, booth, please.
She grabs 3 menus and walks you over to a booth, and she kind of points it down and says, "Coffee, coffee, coffee."
Yeah, 3 coffees, please.
Oh, by the way, miss, we were just at the gym, and we found somebody left a mug there that was from here, so we thought we'd bring it back to you. Here you go.
And she blankly looks at you. "Oh, you made my day." And she picks it up and walks away.
Bitch. Not getting any tip from my 500, that's for sure.
Okay,
Right.
so after a few minutes, she comes back with 3 coffees and looks at you expectantly, waiting for your orders.
Yeah, give me a burger.
Make that 2.
I'll just have the coffee, thank you.
Hey, miss, what's your name?
And she kind of rolls her eyes and points to her name tag, which says Sarah.
Sarah, sorry. Yeah, make that also a shake, please, chocolate.
All right, chocolate shake, 2 burgers, and just the coffee. And she walks away.
Thank you, man.
Sarah.
She stops a few steps and turns back.
And I pull out a dollar bill. And I put it at the end of the table and say, "Tip before the meal this time."
And she slaps a hand down and slides the dollar bill off and goes, and she walks back to the back. And you can see the diner, it's relatively busy, but it's swelteringly hot, and the grill back there is just fired up. And you can hear her shout, "2 more burgers," as if it's not already hot enough. And you see a big, a thin, hairy man at the grill flipping, and yeah.
Henry, I gave her money, and she still wasn't happy.
I'd be happy.
I don't understand.
She's a witch. You must kill her.
Definitely not a hobo. Gosh.
Who's the best looking of all of us?
I don't know. What's your appearance? I think it's.
Well, I was gonna say we all got pictures there.
Yeah.
Yeah. My appearance
Well,
is
that's subjective. I'll tell you right now who's got the
I
best.
can say it's not me.
Well, Edward's dead. Frank, your appearance is 45. Jarrett, your appearance is 50. And Henry, your appearance is 55. So you're the most attractive, Henry.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
She walks back after a few minutes just to fill up your coffee cups as the burgers are cooking.
Sarah, do you know a boxer by the name of Eddie?
And you see her eyebrows raise. And she kind of sits back, one hand on the hip. She kind of says, "Why?"
We were just over at the boxing club, and I'm looking for to make a bet. And I want to know if you know anything about him. You guys won't tell me much.
If you want to talk about Eddie, you have to talk to Tony.
Yeah, Tony knows Eddie?
Tony knows everybody.
Who's Tony?
And she just screams, "Tony!" And you hear a door open off to the side. And
It doesn't feel like we've just got into a 50s diner somehow. Is anyone else picturing that? Like we jumped into 30.
Because bitches don't exist in the 20s. They do what they're told. No, and she kind of walks away, and by the way she's talking, well, on that note, roll a psychology.
Everybody or the best of us?
Whoever would like.
All right, let's give it a go. Even though, yeah. Yeah, that's good. It's a success, not hard or anything, but it's there.
Perfect. Okay, so you just give a psychology to her, and the way she's interacted to you, and the way she's interacted in this diner, doesn't necessarily read like the 50s. What it reads like is someone spoiled, and most likely a relative of the owner. So as she walks away, Tony shambles out of a side door and walks over to the counter and leans up and says, "What?" And she kind of points to your boots. So they're asking for you. And he walks over, and Tony is a big Italian guy with very classic hot Italian with a wife beater, very hairy, slicked back black hair, and kind of just a little bit of a mustache. And he walks over and says, "Yeah, what do you want?"
I was just explaining to Sarah, we're looking for to see if you knew anything about Eddie.
Eddie, why do you...
My name is Henry. I put a hand out to him to shake it.
And he kind of looks down at your hand. And he shakes it wearily. Why do you want to know about Eddie?
I'm looking to make a bet, and I want to make sure that I'm betting on the right pony, so to speak.
If you're betting on Eddie, you're always betting on the right pony. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, you friends with him?
Roll persuade.
It's right on the money.
Okay. So he kind of looks at you and looks at the three of you. Yeah, I know Eddie. He rents a room here in a basement.
Yeah, is he home?
Nah, I haven't seen him in a few days. He came here a few months ago looking for a place to stay. Kid was a nice guy, so I offered him a room in a boiler room. It's nothing special, but he said he needed it, so...
Okay.
So what do you know about him? Has he been, you say he's a good boxer. You've seen him fight then?
I've seen him fight once or twice. We get to talking. He talks to my daughter, Sarah. He's a good kid. But look, I'm not going to answer 20 fucking questions. Like I said, he's got a room in a basement. That's about all I know.
Does he party much, or is he a strict trainer? Like, he doesn't get people in here late at night. He's constantly just focused on training.
Nah, right? He's a quiet kid. He's either spending time in the gym or he's spending time in a room.
Nobody else, eh? I like that.
I like that.
Work ethic. This sounds weird, but I really like to know. I'm about to make a big bet. I really like to know how, the person I'm betting on lives his life. Is he a slob? Does he take care of his apartment?
He just looks at you. What the fuck you talking about?
I want to take a look at his apartment, where he lives. I'll give you some money. Let me see.
And he laughs. You're giving me money for seeing his room?
I know
What
it's
the
weird.
fuck is wrong with you?
I'm a very particular man when I place my bets. I like to know everything about him.
So the three of you kind of sit there a little bit nervously. This man is a pretty large man, very towering, and you can see he's fairly strong. And he kind of stands up and stretches his back, and you can see the sweat just, again, dripping from his forehead. From the heat of the grill and the heat outside, it's immensely hot. And he kind of thinks for a second. Roll a persuade.
Success.
Okay. So he scratches his chin. And he looks over the three of you. He goes, alright. Alright, you want to do me... You want to see Eddie's room? I'll give you run of the mill. I'll let you down there. You can look around and see whatever you want. Does that work for you?
Yeah, you give us 10 minutes there. Just check the place out, I swear. We'll be out of here in 10 minutes.
You can have an hour, but you're going to do me a favor first. And he leans forward. And he points out the window behind you. He says, you see that guy? And you each look, and across the street you see a hot dog vendor with maybe 5 people lined up behind him. And he's just kind of happily out there whistling under an umbrella. He says, that fucking guy. And he swallows hard, and you can hear the kind of anger in his voice. He has been there for the past week. 2 weeks. First week I thought, no big deal, friendly competition. But now this fucking guy, I swear to Christ, he's killing my business. I tried talking to him, went over to him real nice and sweet, even brought him a veal sandwich as a peace offering. The fucker tells me he ain't going nowhere. You want to see Eddie's room? You go over there. You tell him to fuck off. And in a way, I want to say, in a way that doesn't get me in trouble, and Eddie's room is yours for the looking.
Okay, so I reach into my hand, into my pocket as if I got a gun, and I say, no problem, you give me a minute. And I walk outside to the guy.
And he grabs your shoulder and he says, hold on, kid. In a way that doesn't get me in trouble. You go walking over there and you wave a piece at him. The cops are going to be on this place like a fucking flies on a rib roast. Go over there, subtly, and he slaps Jarrett and Frank. All of you get him out of here in a way that makes him not want to come back.
I'm going to make sure. I'm just going to scare him a little. And I take my hand out. I say, I haven't got nothing. I'm not going to wave a piece around.
And he says, kid, if I was going to go over there and I was going to yell at him and threaten him, you don't think I could fucking do it on myself?
I have a way with words. Just give me a minute.
All right. And he walks back. He says, when you're done, get Sarah to call me. And he walks to the back room.
So I walk over there, but I have I asked Jarrett and Frank to come with me. And I have a wad of cash sitting right here in front of my chest.
Okay.
Right? And I yell at the guy, say, hey! The guy selling hot dogs.
Okay, so you walk across the street again, kind of passing the cars. You see about 2 people in line as he quickly serves them. And by the time you get up there, he's pretty much done. And he looks at you with a big smile. And Frank and Jarrett, you kind of walk up behind, and the 2 of you, nervously not knowing what Henry's plan is, stand anxiously behind Henry as Henry calls out to him, hey! And the man kind of looks up to you smiling. Yeah, hot dog for you, sir, on this hot day.
I say, I got something a little bit more particular I need, if you don't mind.
All right.
I'm going to make a gesture, make it look like I'm yelling at you and stuff. Tony, he's pissed off that you're here, and I'm sure you're aware of this. I don't care. But he said if I could get you away, he would do a favor for me. Now, I don't know how much you make in an hour, but what if I tripled that just to have you move your cart away for an hour? Would you do that for me?
And he kind of looks back and forth on the street. Roll a persuade. Or whatever you want. Anything that you can justify.
I could... Persuade's my best, but I kind of want to try fast talk in order to get it up higher. What do you think, Frank?
You want to get it up?
I want to get it up.
Is it tough to get it up?
It is. I need to fast talk in order to do so. Frank, Jared, is it worth the risk, or should I just go with my strong hand?
If he fast talks, would we be able to back him up? with something else? Like, would I be able to
Fail the
follow a
fast talk?
fail with a credit rating?
Yes.
Let's put it this way.
If you fail to persuade, you could also try to back him up too.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a try.
Okay.
Can I re-roll? How do I re-roll?
You can try to
Push.
push it.
Well, I say, we'll quadruple it.
Well, how much could he make in a day?
Okay, so roll credit rating.
I will quadruple it, idiot. That's a fail.
Okay.
Okay, let's push it. Let's try one more roll.
Sure.
I'm gonna push it. Try one more roll, and this time I'll do fast talk again. Here goes nothing. Gamble, gamble, gamble.
Oh! Okay, so that's a critical success.
Bullseye.
So he looks at you. Your offer to quadruple his pay, and he kind of nervously looks back and forth, and he looks at you with your critical success and says, "No, I can't."
Oh, Chris was gonna help me out anyways.
Doesn't matter. You critically succeeded, and he said no.
Why? Why can't you leave? Are you undercover?
And his face goes white. And he looks back and forth. He says, "Shut the fuck up."
Maybe we should have another conversation. Maybe not here.
And he looks past you at the diner, and he kind of just nervously starts serving you a hot dog, and he hands it to you. He says, "Get the fuck out of here."
I'm gonna tell Tony what's really going on here, unless you're willing to let me in on what you're doing here.
Are you fucking serious? Do you have any idea what you're doing, you fucking idiot?
Yeah, I'm
And
serious.
again, he's nervous looking around as someone else walks up behind you, and he's, "Yes, sir, hot dog? Yeah, of course, 50 cents. And pays him, and he hands him the thing.
Yeah, these hot dogs are great. I'd hate to see, this place leave.
And as the guy leaves, he kind of goes, "Are you fucking serious?" "Yeah, I'm undercover. I'm fucking honest. I'm trying to watch this fucking guy, Tony." "Oh my god, you fucking prick." And you can see he's getting nervous.
We're only asking you to leave for an hour. That's
Hey,
all.
Oh my god.
excuse me, sir.
What?
Do you know an officer named Reese Epley?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
I'm actually a friend of his, and I've helped him out on a couple cases. And I was wondering, maybe again, we're just trying to follow up on a couple things here, and I'm wondering maybe you could just give us just a little bit to get in and get what we need.
Look,
And then I can give the information back to Reese.
look, this isn't. I shouldn't be fucking telling you this. This isn't a fucking 1 hour job. I've been out here for the past 2 weeks because the previous guy failed. We've been watching this guy for fucking months. This Tony guy is.
So an hour isn't going to make a
Listen,
difference.
fucking listen to me. This guy is fucking ties to the mafia, to the mob. This guy is one of the top tier guys. He's. Are you fucking serious right now? You want me to leave my post? Oh, fucking hell.
You must
And
get
he-
a coffee break or something.
He kind of walks back and he kind of steps. He says, "Not
Well-
until I can fucking relieve. Someone can relieve." And another person walks up. "Ah, hot dog, sir. Yeah, of course. 50 cents." And he helps that guy. Yeah. You can
Have
see he's
another
already
guy.
frustrated.
Call another guy in, have him be undercover, but just maybe not you right now.
Fuck. So you can tell he's chewing it over.
Can we make a compromise? Is there anything else we can? We need
And
this.
his eyes kind of light up. Wait, what do you want me to do? You want me to leave for an hour? Why? Why?
I make eye contact at Frank and Jared. I'm trying to see if I should come on the level with them or how we should go about this. I'm looking for help here. We have, let's just say we're interested in a tenant of his by the name of Edward.
So why do you think me leaving means you can speak to a tenant of his? Help me help you.
I made a deal with Tony that if I could get you away, the competition, your hot dog stand away, he'd let us go in and inspect the joint where Edward lives.
So
That's all we want is we need some time in there to.
no. You know, okay. No, I know. No. You can help me. Listen, this whole fucking thing is to keep eyes on Tony. It's his comings and goings. I think it's a fucking whack job, but I'm not going to leave my post. However, I'm convinced that he's got a ledger in there, something in there in his office that says something about the money going through that place. If you go in there, I'll leave, but you got to come back with my ledger.
That ledger isn't going to be in that space. How are we going to get it?
You want me to leave? That's my price. That fucking ledger.
Can I talk about it to my friends for a bit? Let me just talk.
Well, does Tony know you're undercover?
How? I don't know.
Because I'm just wondering, if you know he's got ties to the mob, why hasn't he just whacked you? If you're interfering on his business?
Well, you don't whack a hot dog seller for encroaching in on your fucking territory unless you're fucking insane.
I think he might. If he's that powerful.
That's a risk I'm taking, but if the guy whacks me,
because you've been here for a month. What's one hot dog vendor disappearing gonna do to you?
Jared, if I know anything about.
Why do you make me nervous, you fuck? Someone else comes up and hot dog, of course. Here, hands it back.
And I asked.
Look, you said you look
hot dogs. We all have hot dogs, right? At this point.
Hold on. Yeah, you do. You guys, you're looking for a tenant, yeah? You're looking for a tenant?
Yeah.
What's he look like?
It's a boxer. Really messed up nose. A lot of scar tissue.
Yeah. No, I know. I seen him. All right. What? I'm assuming. Why do you want to talk to him?
Well, we're looking for a girl.
Okay.
We're private investigators. We're a couple of dicks.
Yeah, you say that again. Look, how about this? I'll leave for now. You give me the ledger, and not only will I have helped you, I'll put a call into the precinct, and I'll give you a list of the comings and goings of this guy you're looking for so you can track him down. Huh? They've been watching this place for months. They know everything in and out, and when they were starting, they were watching everybody who was in and out on a regular basis. That includes his daughter. That includes anyone who lived in the fucking basement.
We can't make any promises. We'll do our best to get the ledger for you.
That's fine, but if you get the ledger from me, you get to find out where your friend is at. You don't get the ledger from me, then you go fuck yourself. And you've interfered with a police investigation that's actually gone up to the federal level, so double fuck yourself.
All right.
Well, you're a brave man. That's all I'm saying.
Get the fuck out of here.
Jared, let's go.
So hold on a second. So out of game, we have to go get the ledger first, or now he's going to go and he expects us to get the ledger?
If you agree to his terms, he will leave for you to go into the house, or into the diner, but he expects the ledger in return. On returning of the ledger, he will also give you information about Eddie that his department has collected over the past little while.
Where are we gonna meet you to give you the ledger, anyways?
And he says, I'll go around the corner, I'll bring my cart there. That way Tony thinks that I left the spot, and then you come find me. I'm around the corner after. And I swear to fuck. And he said, actually, give me your ID. Give me someone's ID.
I reached in my pocket, and I pull out... Shit, did we already say Edward's name?
You did say Edward, yeah.
What about
Yeah,
Roland?
like
We got Roland.
Yeah, what about Roland? Because we got his card. And
Yeah,
it
you have
says
Roland's
I've
ID.
investigated.
There's a photo ID, though?
No.
Well, you have a business card, even.
Here, this
An
is all I
ID
got.
wouldn't have a photo on it.
And I hand
So
it
you give him
over.
Roland's ID?
Yeah.
Perfect. And he goes, Roland Cummings. Okay, perfect. And he takes
I need
it.
the back.
I'm holding
I
on
need
to
the
this.
back when I come back with the ledger, though. That's
Yeah, you come back with the ledger. This is yours.
Frank. Is this what we're gonna do? We're gonna try to go steal a ledger from this guy, from a mafia guy.
I guess so. We'll try. I guess
Alright.
we have to now. We've already... The guy's left, right? The hot dog?
No, he hasn't. We're just standing next to him.
He'll wait for your call if you're still nervous.
We can do this. I don't know how, but this guy's still talking to us, right?
All right. So at this,
Do you know where the ledger is?
Ledger's in his office. That's as much as I can tell. I've seen him at night, come out with it, go in his office. There's like 3 places in the joint. There's a fucking bathroom, there's the fucking basement, there's the front of the diner, there's the kitchen, and there's the guy's fucking office. If he keeps it in the bathroom or the kitchen, then fuck me. But if he keeps it anywhere but the office, the guy's a fucking genius.
Okay, so at this point...
So is a man that can count to 3.
You know what? Go fuck yourself.
So I...
What's your name? What's your fucking name?
I said, we'll do it.
No, shut up. What's your fucking name? What's your name? Someone walks up with a hot dog. Hot dog, of course, sir. Here you go. What's your name, kid?
You don't need to know our name. We're going to do this for you.
No, I want his name. What's your name?
It's Clem, sir.
Clem? You're gonna enter a world of shit if you fuck with me. I swear to Christ.
Yes, sir.
God damn it! Why are we still out here? It's fucking hot. Let's get back inside.
So he picks up his cart and he starts wheeling it. He says, "Give me that fucking ledger." And he wheels
Wait, I
it
gotta
on the
make this look good. And I walk over and I push one of the ketchups onto the floor. I say, "Get the fuck out of here!" I start waving my hands. Don't you come back!
And he bends down and kind of nods, and puts the ketchup and wheels around the corner.
We'll be back with your ledger. As I'm yelling.
Yell a little louder, you fuck.
All right, so we turn back. I walked near Frank and I said, "You think Tony's gonna buy that?"
Buy what? That he
I don't
left?
know.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think we should arm ourselves before we go into this place? I didn't realize there's gonna be some. We might be in a dangerous situation here.
Can't hurt.
Do you have your piece on you?
I do.
And Jarrett, you got a piece on you?
Yes, sir.
Do you mind if I take it? I'm not sure that you'll be able to use it when the time comes and I can't bring in my shotgun.
Yeah, absolutely, sir.
Although
Now,
I think
remember,
we do.
these guys watching the stream can spend a few points to help you roll-wise if it gets sticky in here. So
Yeah.
I'm going to start a post that just says if you'd like to spend something at some point, let me know.
All right, so let me get this straight. So the layout of the diner is the main diner area, the kitchen. There's a hall in the back, and the hall connects to the bathroom and the stairs
basement.
leading
Well, I'm no Alec,
downstairs.
but I'm sure I can give it a quick little draw for you.
Ooh,
So here's
Bob
the
Ross.
diner.
Bob
Done.
Ross time.
So, yeah, this is the door to the diner. There are 2 walls, short walls on either side, and then the booths line the front windows of the diner. Follow so far?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is a long counter that
Bar.
someone can sit at, like this. Oh, I didn't space this out very well. Hold on. Whoop. And then there we go. So there is a door, like a open area here that leads straight back to what the man described as the basement stairs. This opens up to let the girl in and out, the waitresses, I should say, so they can come in and out here. This is the open space for the kitchen. These are the doors to the kitchen. And over, I guess, here, oh no, sorry, bathroom is here. So you have to walk kind of into the kitchen to use the bathroom. And there is a door that the large man walked out of here, which you would assume is the office. Make sense-ish?
It does.
So how are we going to get and keep Tony out of his office?
Now, just as a side note, the world is your oyster. You can do anything you want.
Like, there's a possibility we could, like, literally throw a trash can through the window to distract him after we
Do
come
it.
out.
Literally anything you fucking want.
Or, yeah, you know what I mean? We could do something ridiculous. We could pay a homeless guy, which, Frank, you have some really good rapport with, to go in there and just, you know, defecate.
I'm listening. Yeah.
Go on.
Go on.
You sold me on the defecation.
I think, obviously, we worry about that. We should have a plan before we go in.
Yeah.
But let's go into Edward's room to make the plan so we don't look so suspicious out here. Because we'll have time when we're down there.
That's right.
Okay. So we're going to go in.
I was frozen there for a second. Sorry, say again?
We've decided that it's best to make the plan well in Edward's apartment because it's going to look kind of sketchy if we're outside going, okay, now how are we going to get all that stuff? So we're going to go into the apartment, check around and make a plan for how maybe if we're going to make a diversion or just sneak into the office at that point.
So you're gonna go in and then make the plan.
Yeah, because that way.
Solid.
No.
I like it.
No, if we make the plan on the street, it's going to be like a little obvious.
Oh, it's fun. It's good. I want to see what happens.
Well, I was under the impression
It's
that
like we're gonna do a bank job, but let's break into the bank and then just figure out how we'll get out and
Are
steal
our
the
burgers
money.
ready yet? Are our burgers ready?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, go back and eat our burgers. Talk about it
that's
amongst
good.
ourselves.
Good call.
and
Good call.
Tony will come out at his leisure.
Perfect. Well, yeah, you have to call for them. So you come back in, and as you walk back in, 2 burgers, and another half-filled coffee are awaiting you.
All right. Henry, you think it makes sense for all 3 of us to go down, or someone to stay up here, and then... Because Tony might actually follow you downstairs. He might actually show you around, which might give someone time to sneak into his office, grab what we need, and then get out while you guys...
That's not a bad idea, but what if Tony doesn't stick down there? I guess I can try to stall him.
We can try to stall him, we can try to get him downstairs. And there might be windows outside, too. If we were able to open a window and get that file outside...
Yeah, you know what? That might not be a bad idea. We go in there, and if there's like a basement window, we leave it open, we can come back tonight. Worst case scenario.
He might take the folder home with him.
You might.
We gotta get it back for the car.
So as you're sitting here discussing, Tony walks out of the back office and walks over behind the counter and totally disregards you, puts his mug down, fills it up with coffee, and takes a long drink. And someone give me a listen roll.
I will roll. I will roll.
I will roll for you.
Extreme
Nice.
success!
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So, the daughter walks out. His daughter, which I'm just going to give you by now. You should know because they look the same, just with less hair. He has less hair. Yeah. She kind of says, "God damn it, Dad," and he goes, "What?" She's like, "Are you going to fill up your fucking coffee every 10 minutes?"
How old is the daughter?
She's like 18 or 17.
Okay.
And he goes.
So really, we just gotta wait till he shits himself.
He goes, "I'll fill it up as often as I want," and he fills it up, and he takes a long sip, and then he goes back to the office.
All right.
I'm gonna go. Let me go check out the washroom for a second, and I'm gonna go to the washroom and take a look at it. That's stupid. No, it's stupid. I take it back. I take it back.
Okay. So you walk 2 steps, and then back.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we could
if
drop
he's-
them in there, but who can lock a washroom from the outside?
Yeah, but
If he's-
however, how many other people are in the restaurant?
It's pretty filled. I would
Because
say.
that could be our moment. Because how many other people are working? We got the cook, right?
You have the cook,
waitress,
and you only have the one waitress.
and then
And
we
what I
got
mean
Tony.
is it's a pretty small diner.
I got a
So what
good
if we
idea,
cause
I think.
what if we cause the toilet to overflow?
That's what I was just, yeah, exactly. Or even better, someone just goes in there and locks the door from the inside, because that's usually how you lock a bathroom door, and just pretend that you're severely constipated. So then when Tony needs to use it 20 minutes from now, really badly, they're
And
gonna-
then you start overflowing it.
yeah, and just make it a ruckus. Jarrett, you look like the man for this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me interject with a little bit of keeper wisdom. You got no idea how ironclad these guys' bowels are, or if he's already taken a shit. However, let's just say there are ways to ensure.
Yes. Yeah. His drink.
I also like the fact that, like, in complete Invictus stream commonality, that we're relying on poop.
We are. We are.
Yeah, well, the only way that I know to make someone use the washroom really badly is to put things like saline solution or something of that nature. But how are we going to do something like that? Like, do you guys have any
remember, when you drove up, there are other buildings on this very busy corner. There's a barber shop, there's a drugstore, a pharmacy.
Yeah. X-Lax.
Yeah.
Laxatives.
There would be something that would be basically like that.
Okay, we could try that. My sleight of hand's pretty good. Still be challenging.
All right, I'll run to the grocery store, the drugstore, pick up some, and then we'll make it.
Come back. Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
Frank. So you again finish your burger, wipe your lips, jog across the street in the heat, the hot heat, and as you around the store, you see the man at the hot dog cart kind of giving you a puzzled look, like, "Fucking already?" And you kind of shake your head and walk into the drugstore.
Yeah.
And the drugstore is typically busy for this time of day. And after a few minutes of searching, you find what you're looking for, a laxative of some sort, and you procure it. Yeah.
Now the question is, do we put the laxative in the grinds so that whoever drinks the coffee has to shit?
That's what I'm thinking.
Or do we try to get in? Because that way we
create
can.
we create the backlog, so to speak.
And not to mention, it's easier than trying to get it in his cup.
On the side note, Hans is generously donating 15 experience points to up your fast talk skill at some point if you'd like.
Can you
or
My
if
sleight
you,
of hand would be good.
Okay, so he is going to spend 15 experience points to give you a bonus die to your sleight of hand.
Nice.
So thank you, Han.
Thank you, Hans.
And then we do a little bit of. Whoops. I was just about to say it. There we go. Thank you, Hans. Perfect. Okay, so Justin sits at the table next to you and slides over the X-Lax, and you take a look at it, Henry, with worried eyes.
Okay, so I'm gonna watch the coffee. The coffee pot. Is it almost empty?
You cannot tell. Oh, the actual jug?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like the one that he was drinking from. Looks to be about half full still, actually. Still got a few cups in it.
All right. Well,
Maybe
I'm gonna
5
walk
cents.
over to it. It's just behind the. I see. I'm gonna wait till Sarah's at another table.
Okay.
I'll pin someone up. And I'm just gonna walk over to it, and I'm gonna take the rest of the coffee and take it out and pour it down the sink and look like I'm trying to make a new pot of coffee. And just right away put it start making a new pot of coffee. Put the.
Okay.
You know what? Before I would have ground up. No, I would just put it in there. The X-Lax.
So you so you walk behind the counter. You dump the coffee.
No, yeah, I say, it's old stuff, right?
Okay.
And I start looking like I'm gonna make a new pot.
Okay, so you do that, and Sarah turns to you, kind of on the other side of the, because unless you dump it very sneakily, we'll say you dumped it sneakily.
Well, I do it as if it's completely normal. I'm not like slouching it. I'm just pouring it as if it's like I'm in my own house.
Let's do this. See if she notices. She does. Okay, so she turns to you and says, "What the fuck are you?" No, she wouldn't say fuck. What are you doing?
Oh, I just put it on a new pot. That stuff is old. It's no good. And I can go back to my work as if nothing's going on.
And she starts walking over to you and kind of says, "What? Get out of here!" And she starts slapping you out.
Okay, and as she does that, I continue. I say, well, we need coffee and this stuff. And as she's doing it, I'm still trying to work, and I'm going to try to get the thing in there.
Okay. So there's still wet grounds in the machine too, though. So you want to dump those out and then put the.
Yeah, I want to see if I can keep going. I said, listen, I saw you were busy over there. I just thought I'd be helpful and make a new pot of coffee. I'm sorry, I didn't realize it bothered you, but the whole time I'm still going.
Okay, give us a persuade first.
Shit. Push.
Push.
You can.
Or should I not push, guys, and try a different method? I'm pushing.
Else, yeah.
Should I push?
No. Try something.
Well, if you get enough laxative in, no one's gonna have to push.
Okay, so
I said sorry, miss, sir. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. Let me go back to my spot. I'm sorry.
Okay, and she kind of slaps you out and says, "God damn it!" and you see her emptying the wet grounds and grabbing a scoop of the fresh grounds and sets up a fresh brewed pot of coffee as you sit down.
When you bring that coffee, when that coffee's done, I'd love a fresh pot. I love fresh cup. Thanks, Sarah.
And she kind of looks at you just
Henry,
like...
Can you ask for the whole pot? I might as well just keep one at the table.
No, I said, Frank, don't be greedy. And I told Sarah, I said, whenever you're ready, miss, I apologize. I will have a nice tip ready for you. I would love another fresh cup.
And she just looks at you and says, okay, wait. She walks back to the person she was serving.
And I go to Frank and Jared. Oh, I'm going to try when she comes over. I'd say quietly to her, well, that didn't work. Frank, maybe when she comes over, I'll stand up and I'll apologize. Maybe you could give her some money.
What I was saying, Henry, is if we could just get our hands on a pot, and we could do it here, bring the pot back up there.
I know, I just don't think that's going to work out here. I think she wouldn't want us to take the whole pot. She's got to serve the whole restaurant with that thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think when she comes over here, if there's some way we can either get her to put the pot on the table, by maybe giving her, like, distracting her with, or, like, you distract her and I'll slip it in.
We're still talking coffee, right?
Yeah.
Slip it in. Or you can roll an idea, or
no, I want to go with our idea.
No, well, I'm not. I wouldn't change it. I'll just give you a suggestion as to how to go about it in a less weird way.
What is idea? 70. I'm gonna. Well, I didn't get an idea. Anyone else got an idea? That was my idea.
Well, yeah, I'll just roll an idea. Might as well. I'm good.
Okay. So you reevaluate your plan, and you think you have something with the pills into the coffee, and you realize putting in the grounds is kind of a weird way to do it, but you realize that you could very easily, as all the diner cups look very similar. You could crush up the powder, put it in the bottom of a cup, and offer Tony a new cup, or put it in the cup next to it and try to get him to get rid of his dirty cup, or get Tony to come back to your table before, such as when you're going to tell him about the guy across the street, and then distract him to slip it in the cup that he has right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Rather than you going to the source, bringing the source to you.
That's true. It's also nice though to have everybody have the runs at the same time. It's kind of funny.
Then my question is, if you want that, why make it a pot? Why not just drop them into the pot that was already there?
Yeah.
Because I was afraid she was going to serve the rest of the guests and it's going to run out. She serves everybody else but Tony.
Fair enough. Okay, that's fair. I was like, why the fuck? Like, that's such a convoluted way to do it.
Yeah. My thing is make sure that every cup she serves has it in there, and a fresh pot means it's going to go in Tony's, most likely.
True. No, that's a fair point. Okay.
What do you guys think?
We might as well wait until he gets here.
Aisha says, put it in the tea, put it in the water, everywhere, everything.
People are just going to, like...
Facility.
Yeah.
Everyone's just going to, like, touch the door and have go to the runs and everything.
So how do you want to go about this, then?
Just wait till he gets here. Wait till he gets here.
Well, why don't we say we're done and we're ready to go in? We may as well go see him right now.
Okay.
See.
So,
how are we going to get it into his cup?
I'll find a way.
Okay.
So I can try to slide a hand, right? Like I could bump into him and try to drop it in, right?
You could definitely try that. It again would be probably more awkward than just having him at your table, set his cup down, and then distract him with something else, and then.
Henry, let's wait. Let's wait till he comes out, because then he's guaranteed to have his cup with him. He might just leave it in his office, and then we got to get it either into his mouth or into his cup, which is in the office. You know?
Fair enough.
We can try bumping into him. It just would be tougher, for sure. Yeah. But either way, so you call him from the back office? Or ask Sarah to call?
We just wait.
Wait for him to come for his next cup.
Perfect. Okay, so you wait a few minutes as Henry very delicately finishes his burger. And you slide the plate over to the end of the table, and sure enough, on schedule, Tony comes out with an empty cup, walks over behind the counter, flips it up, pours himself a cup, as Sarah again gives him a look, and he begins walking back to his office.
Tony!
Yeah, and he walks over to you and sets the cup down on the table.
I say, you notice anything across the street? And as he goes to look, I'm gonna try to get it in there.
All right. Well, he puts the cup here, and he's looking straight across the street. So it's pretty much right in his view.
Oh shit.
And he kind of says, "Well, I'll be damned. You fucking guys. Not bad. How did you get him to move?"
Well, we told him about a different spot, and I describe a corner to get him to turn his head. I point down the street and say, you know, First and Main? Down
So he
area?
looks briefly.
Yeah. That's
and okay. So as you're describing it, he turns his head away from his coffee cup.
All right, I'll give it a
I
try.
know that spot pretty well. I've worked with people there, and
all right. Now, Henry, are you giving this your bonus die?
Yeah, and I'm gonna try just to do I'll reach across the table as if I'm grabbing Jarrett's napkin or something, and as I do, I'll try to drop it in.
Perfect. Okay, so just a reminder about how bonus die work. You're going to roll 2 die. It's going to be the second number of the first roll, and whichever number is lower on either die for the first.
Okay.
So 59.
59, which is a success.
Excellent. Okay, so as Frank distracts.
Thank you, Chris. Or Chris?
That was
Chris?
Hans.
Hans.
Well done, Hans. You just saved the day.
I would have had 99.
However, for the record, both Aisha and Chris have offered to use bonus die as well. So Chris and Aisha, we are aware of that. And if they need it, I would say the best way this probably works is if you guys feel like you need it for your next roll, request it, and then that way we can collect it. But that one was Hans right now. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, you did. You did. So Tony is looking off at Frank, and he kind of says, not bad, not bad. So you just got him to go in that corner. You just told him to go.
Well, I mean, it took a little persuading, but he saw it our way, and now he's there.
And he sits back. All right, what'd you really tell him?
I told him if he came back here, I was going to break his legs.
Yeah, and he kind of looks back and forth. I don't think cops respond to threats like that. What'd you really tell him?
I told him, shit. I told him that his cover was blown if he didn't move. So I was on to him.
You picked up on that. Not bad. Not bad, guys.
He didn't look like the type to be selling hot dogs.
Fair enough. All right, well, they'll probably have something else on me shortly, so I'll show you to Eddie's room. And he picks up the coffee and takes a big gulp as he does, and you guys walk towards the side.
To Eddie. I like to make a toast.
We all lean in closer and watch him.
No, I try to challenge him to a coffee drinking competition.
Do you actually do something like that?
No.
It's not? Okay. All right, so he takes a big gulp and walks over, and he kind of says, yeah, Edward, like I said, he's a good kid. Quiet as shit, and yeah. And he walks to the side, and again, you see him duck into him standing before the door to his office, and stairs leading down to a dark basement. He says, yeah, the kid lives down there. It's in the boiler room, pretty much the only room down there.
Where's your washroom? I can feel my stomach's rumbling a little bit, just in case I need to use it.
No, it's on the other side. You got to go through the kitchen, and there's a door, and it will say men.
Yeah, I'm fine right now, but just in case.
Yeah.
And does Eddie have one downstairs as well? Just in case?
No, Eddie did everything up here. Kid showered in the fucking sink in the kitchen. Probably shouldn't have. You don't look like the health inspector, so I think we're good. And again, he takes a big gulp, and he says, yeah, let me know when you're done. And he walks into his office, and sits down.
Well, I guess pretty soon we'll have a basis for comparison on if Edward really was as quiet as shit.
Jared?
All right.
Do you want to go and occupy the room?
Yes, sir.
Occupy the room?
We'll try to be the washroom.
Oh, okay, so Jared's actually occupying it.
Well, okay, all right. But
But
what
do
happens?
we need to now if he's going to be in there pooping the whole time?
You think it'll be enough? Yeah. I just thought it'd be nice to have the extra added. You can't even get in there.
Yeah, but we could. That's what I'm saying is I could go fill the pipes with toilet paper, wedge it in there so that it does back up.
Yeah, maybe go do that.
So
Well,
that's what I will do.
Guys, is this necessary?
It's
Is it
funny as hell.
necessary? What do you want to do? Look, we've only got so much time. I don't know how fast those X-lax are going to work, but he thinks that Jarrett's with us. I don't know. He might think well, he's got to take a shit, so he might run back to his office if he can't get into the bathroom. I say one of us just waits down at the bottom of the stairs. When he opens the door to use the washroom, one of us goes up. We'll have 2 minutes minimum to find the folder. He'll be in a hurry.
Yeah, that's true. We'll have lots of time. Probably on
And
the toilet for half an hour.
yeah. What do you think, Jarrett? Does that make sense to you? Just one person stay by the door and watch, and
Signal?
then go upstairs when he leaves?
Yes, sir.
Only takes one of us. The other two can stay down here.
Maybe I will sit and do some sketches of the diner. I can stay at the top.
No. Don't stay at the top. Stay at the bottom. Stay at the bottom. We can see the door from where we are, right?
Gotcha.
Like we could see him leave the room, right, Keeper?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So stay down here, because then if you're sitting up there when he runs to the washroom, I don't know. You know what I mean.
Okay.
Okay.
So you decide your plan. You all go downstairs. Jared kind of keeping a watch out. And as you guys reach the bottom steps of the basement, you see the cement walls. You see a large boiler and a small, thin door leading to what you imagine is the room that Edward slept in. So you open it up and are greeted by a single bulb hanging on a wire. And after flicking it on, you see a very simple, dull room. You see a single solitary cot tucked away in the corner, a few, like a wooden chair in the corner, an extra pair of gloves hanging from a hook on the wall, and other than that, and a few clothes that are tossed in the chair, you don't see anything.
Why are you laughing, Henry?
Just someone's posted. Soon, I may have overtrusted that fart.
That's good.
Well, I guess we'll start rummaging through things.
Okay, so, alright, so give me a spot hidden. And Jarrett, you're watching the stairs pretty quietly, and
Yes,
don't see anything just yet.
Success.
Okay, so you take a look. Now, I'm going to give you the advantage to say that your spot hidden acts as an extreme. And the reason I'm going to say it acts as an extreme is because I don't want you to feel like you have to re-roll. You're looking everywhere. And in storyline, you guys would be looking everywhere for any single sign of anything. And what you find is nothing. You cannot find a single thing that indicates Edward had even spent more time in this room than sitting in a chair and lying on the bed. I mean, you find a few hairs that would match Edward.
Dead end.
But that's it. You don't see anything.
Frank, we got nothing here.
And Jarrett, as you're standing there, you see a large man, Tony, exit his office. Oh. And he kind of half shuts the door behind him. Oh. And you can see him very, very awkwardly walk out of the room into the other side of the building.
Is there a window to the basement?
And I will head up.
There's no window to the basement. And you head upstairs, Jarrett, and you can see that the office is open a crack.
Yep. And I will head in.
Frank and Henry, you would notice that Jarrett has left his post as well. And Jarrett, you enter the office.
Yes, sir. And I will quickly do do I have to do a spot hidden, or is it something that would be right on his desk?
No, you would need to do spot hidden. His desk is filled with papers. Not one that says ledger.
Let's see here. I believe that is a critical success, sir.
All right. So
Jarrett's got the rolls on tonight.
About time, Jared.
It's true.
It takes you no time at all to see that, yeah, there is a ledger sitting upright in the corner next to some other books. You take it open, see a bunch of numbers, seems to be ciphered in some way, but it's of no real interest to you because it does look like this is a transaction of sorts.
I will just get out quickly.
Perfect.
And again, try to leave the door exactly where it was, because it was just only a little bit open.
So you shut it just a little bit,
and then like run down the stairs and say like, guys, I got it.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, so we book it.
And
so the three of you
I slapped $3 on the counter as I'm leaving.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So she slapped the money down. She kind of looks at you awkwardly and says, "Thank you," and you guys leave through the front door. You enter the sweltering pavement again, and the street is live as you kind of look back over your shoulder at getting away with it pretty successfully.
Getting into the car.
Okay, and you get into the car.
And we drive around the corner to where the guy is to drop off the ledger.
Perfect. So driving around, you...
Before we do that, we read the ledger as we go, though, just to see...
Okay. You look through the ledger, and it's incomprehensible. It's just a bunch of gibberish, random ciphered numbers, transactions that mean little to nothing to you. No names really stick out. Definitely something that the bureau or the police would want, but it's of no consequence to you. So you pull up to the man who kind of nervously looks at you as you exit your car, and he looks back and forth. So?
Well, Jared, you got it.
I hand it to him.
And he takes a look at it, and all right, guys, shit, you did good. And he takes out Roland's ID and hands it back to you. All right, Roland, I misjudged you.
And sorry, how do we get the information that we were promised, sir?
Yeah. And he takes off his apron, and he's like, you guys have no idea how much you just helped us.
I do. He actually knew you were a cop, so I'm pretty sure without us he wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah, all right, just fucking relax. And he walks over to a phone booth, and he pulls out the phone, and he looks back at you, and he pops in a dime, and he pulls out his notepad from his breast pocket, and you can hear him kind of just talking. He's like, yeah, look, I'm watching the place. I need some information on the comings and goings, blah, blah, blah. And he leans out and says, what's the kid's name? Eddie what?
Mason.
Mason? All right. And he goes back to Eddie Mason. Blah, blah. And you can kind of see him furiously scribbling down, and after a few minutes, he kind of nods and says, yeah, thanks. Oh, I got good news for you. And he hangs up the phone, and he comes back out. All right. And he looks at you and says, look, you got to understand now, with the heat out here and everything, my intention was not to try to fuck you guys over. But you really threw a wrench in my plan when you start calling me an undercover cop across from one of the most notorious mobsters in the whole fucking city. So you got to give me a little bit of credit for not calling in, the guys right there and fucking you over. But I am happy right now, and I hope this will make you happy. And he kind of just reads it off. He says, all right, so looks like we got an Edward Mason scene coming and going. Last little while, we got a Marco's Gym. This guy goes there maybe 5 times a week for the past month. Tony's Diner, again, he's back and forth here. A couple unremarkable spots that they didn't note, something like Diner, things in walking distance, nothing too special like that. And last month, they tailed him out to the suburbs, but they lost him in a subdivision. That was last month, July the 16th, it looks like. And that was the only time they saw him go out of the way. And he flips the page. And there's... Oh! No, one more. They said they lost him off his usual path just after that. They said they spotted him in the suburbs 16th, they lost him. Found him off in the hills, west of Arkham. He took a drive up there. I don't know why. They think maybe he was just going for a drive. He wasn't gone for very long, and that was about it. Personally, based on the guy who was telling me, it seems like they just weren't that interested. Again, they were following these guys early on, thinking they might be contacts at Pony. This guy didn't pan out, but yeah, no, hills west of Arkham. I don't know why he'd be up there. There's not much around there.
Yeah, excuse me, sir.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Sorry, Frank. You go ahead, sir.
Well, that you said that was July 16th, right? That you saw him leave, or was that?
July 16th, he was spotted in the suburbs. A few days after that, maybe the 19th, he was up in the hills, West Arkham. Yeah.
Now, sir, I have a couple questions for you, if you would, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead.
One of the things I want to know, sir, is that do they have a street name of the suburbs that he was? Particular street name?
No, he got lost around. And he describes a subdivision, and you know that Roland's house is maybe a street and a half away from where they lost him.
Right. And then, was there a park or something in the hills? Is there a specific park we're looking for?
Nah, they just say they lost him in the hills. I don't know.
I whisper over to Jared and I said, maybe wasn't that when we? Was that not the day that we went up with? Or was it one of the days that we were with him?
No. You went to Savini's August 19th. This was a month before that.
Ah.
Now, and then the last question, sir. I realize that we helped you out a lot getting the ledger, but we also put our own lives at risk because you don't think Tony's going to make the connection that we were in there looking for stuff on Edward, and then his ledger's gone. If he's as powerful as you say that he is, what are you doing to help us out there?
What do you want? What do you want to do? What do you want me to do? Did you tell him your names? Did you tell him where you live?
No.
No, sir.
Well, then you're probably pretty fucking good. That would have been pretty stupid.
We could use some plates, some new plates for this car.
Oh yeah, let me call the Get People New Plates division of the police department. The guys that are dedicated to making sure 3 fucking guys who stole something from me because they were fucking up my routine don't get whacked. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, I'll tell you what then, sir. You have our business card. Call me next time. You got to be able to count to 3.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. And a cop car pulls up and he says, yeah, and he drops the thing and he gets in the back of it. And drives away.
Leaves the hot dog cart there? He doesn't need anything, right?
Yes! We're up 1 hot dog cart.
I'm going to grab a hot dog because, again, I'm hungry.
No longer unemployed.
Free hot dogs.
No longer a drifter. What is the rating for a hot dog?
All right.
I'm just imagining you doing the entire investigation from now on with the hot dog cart. You bring it wherever you go.
You're like in a basement.
You're putting my kids through college.
Yeah.
All right. Where to now, cats?
Well, what other leads do we have? We've got the Katowskis. We've got Beatrice.
Well, do we have anywhere to go on the Katowskis? We do have an apartment, don't we?
There's the hills west of Arkham.
That's
I
very
think that makes
specific.
sense. Because, again, if we're looking for Roland's daughter and Edward was ready to waste her, maybe we're just looking for another grave.
Hey, yeah. The 16th was when he delivered the letter, and
18th was when he delivered the letter.
18th was when he delivered the letter, right? Because it was signed the 17th.
Edward was spotted in the suburbs near Roland's house on the 16th. Roland was sent the letter about his dead wife and taken daughter on the 18th, and a few days after the 16th, on probably the 19th or the 20th, he was spotted in the hills.
That would make sense.
So the hills is probably where the little girl might be?
Or what's left of her.
Whoa!
But the hills west of Arkham, I mean, we just start driving around there.
Is it like a very specific, like, do people go, oh, the hills west of Arkham, and like it's a landmark that people know about?
No, it's just hills. But maybe you want to look into what landmarks might be out there.
Okay. Where would we go about doing that? Library?
Sure. Or the City Hall planning office, things like that. Or maybe just asking, hey, what's in the hills west of Arkham? Or roll knowledge yourself. Maybe you have some weird...
Yeah, because, again, if we grew up here, we probably
might know.
So, knowledge. So, intelligence?
Education. See if you remember your history.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, Harlan.
Okay. So, is it a hard story or is it a regular?
Just a regular.
Okay, so no, you don't remember. Sorry. I gave you false hope.
Why don't you use the points from Invictus stream?
What points?
From Aisha.
Oh, we could use that. There are more than one ways to skin a cat, though.
All right, what else? What other leads we got? Spirits, guide us.
Well, what I mean to say is there's more ways to look in that direction. You could go out and drive there. You could look at
Yeah, let's
maps.
drive there.
You could go to
That's
City
how I
Hall and
honestly
ask.
would do it.
Just ask an old guy. Hey, how long you been around here?
Hey, Frank.
Yeah.
Calling you an old guy.
Oh. Damn it, Jarrett. I'm serious.
Yes,
You are missing.
All right, who we got? Some old person. Can we? Okay. Well, yeah. Let's go find an old person. I don't know. I would just drive, honestly.
Yeah, let's just get out of this area.
Here are
Tony
the
gets out of
hills
the
west.
bathroom.
Here's the map of Arkham, and here are the hills west of them.
Are they alive with the sound of music?
They were, and then the Nazis. All right, so you decide that the best option to find a missing girl is to chance it. So you get in your car, and you guys start driving to the hills west of Arkham. And you spend a good amount of time just kind of passing through the hills. Why don't you roll?
My question is, how did he get here? And he doesn't have a car.
Oh, does he? Interesting.
Does he have a car? He's a boxer. I doubt he has a car.
Edward does have a car.
And he drove to the bed and breakfast, didn't he?
Correct.
Maybe we should check his car. Maybe he's got a map or something in there.
I think the
Back
car.
at the bed and breakfast?
I think it's even. I think it's at the the mansion. Oh no, you took it from. You're right. No, it's at the bed and breakfast.
That's a long way to go.
That was actually the car that got struck by lightning that saved Amelia's life and blew up in a puff of smoke.
Okay, so we're not going back there.
Well,
Tied that one up nicely.
I'll just tell you that.
No,
How about this? Well, I'll give you this much. If he leaves his bedroom as
That
clean
means
as
I
this, he would not leave anything in his car.
All right.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just weird to go around looking for an old person to ask. I
Too
bet
late.
they-
You're already driving. Roll me a spot hidden.
Oh, I got this.
We're gonna need an extreme.
I'm gonna use. Can I use some points in Invictus stream?
Yeah, if you guys want to do a bonus die, now is the time to do it. Now, I do know that Aisha and Chris both volunteered to use, so what we will do is we will use those 15 experience points to give you a bonus die, and then whoever out of the two of them wants to volunteer it, we will take their money. So, Henry, give us a roll for spot hidden as you sit in the passenger seat of Frank's car. Now, again, as you pass through the hills, it's a beautiful, bright, sunny day, giving you plenty of visibility.
Except for one dark evil cloud, because it's
Except for
probably
the dark evil cloud. No, but you do. It's very similar. A lot of trees, a lot of bush, a lot of things like that. And you try to scan the horizon for anything that steps out of place. So give us a good roll.
I would probably look for the opposite. I would look for the most plain, common-looking hill, the one without any landmarks or anything.
Okay, so
Thinking
Garrett looks
along
for
the
most
lines of
boring
Edward, keeping everything as boring and neutral as possible.
And Henry,
I'm looking for the place with the giant horns.
okay, give us a roll then.
And the
And
shovel sticking out.
I'm just looking at the road.
Okay,
keep
so how does that work?
Give us 2 rolls for your spot. Oh, so you're at 52,
Okay, so that's a success.
but just a regular.
Well, yeah,
Not even a
it's a
hard.
pretty good. Like I got 75 as spot hidden.
So that means you need 37. So no, it's not that good. It's not that good.
It's pretty good.
No. So you're sitting there and you are looking around. Chris got it. Thank you, Chris. I'm sorry, Chris Lawrence got it, not you got it. Chris offered the experience points. Well done, Chris. Thank you. And Chris answered first. So although Aisha also offered, she did not do it. But even though she said she thinks this drive was erroneous, and she protests it. So
Well, what
she
do
could
you
have been-
suggest, Aisha? all about the negativeness. Come on, give us a
So roll a luck.
I don't feel like rolling luck. Hey, Frank, you roll it.
Don't be a puss.
I ain't too lucky. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I got it.
Wow. So Frank, as you're driving and Henry's looking around, frustrated at the fact that you don't see anything because you're basically like walking in the woods, you spot an older man walking on the side of the road.
Is he a farmer? I roll down my window and say, excuse me, good sir.
How can I help you?
We're looking for the hills west of Arkham. Would you be
you
able to
found them,
point
good
me in
sir.
that direction? What do you know
definitely
about
found
these
them.
parts?
If I get in your cab, will you give me money to have sex with you? No, he says, you found the hills west of Arkham, good man.
Good, okay. Well, we don't know much about the area. What can you tell me? What are the landmarks in the area?
And he kind of stops. Landmarks in the hills west of Arkham, well, you have a few hills, and not much else. I walk 10 kilometers up here every day to keep my heart young.
Every day.
Every
And
single
do you ever recall seeing, and I'll describe Edward's car?
well, I've seen lots of cars, but not that one in particular, no, unfortunately.
It would have been stopped on a hill or something? It wouldn't be driving through. It would have been stopped for a while.
No, I don't make much means of talking to people when they stop and or stopping at random buildings and things like that. So I see up here.
What about the people living in the area? Are there any villages or farmhouses around?
No, up here is used mostly for things of my nature, taking drives, taking walks, things like that. Well, of course, there is the stargazers.
The stargazers? Yeah, okay.
Yes, every once in a while you'll catch a stargazer, though I haven't seen them for many years now. I think there's actually one built up here, an observatory of sorts, man-made, and small little thing, bricks and all that, but dome roof nonetheless.
Where is that? That sounds
And he
interesting.
kind of points off into one direction, up ahead, to the right. Well, finish down this road about 10 minutes, make a right, and there's a tree that's almost come over. I rarely go there myself, but I've been there once, again, a few years ago. Nice little place, a bit run down, but...
Yeah? Is it run down? Are people still using it, or...?
I hardly think so. Again, it's a tough drive up it, and most people wouldn't make the walk, and other people don't know it's even that.
And where are you from? You sound like you have an English accent of some sort.
Ah, yes, originally from Westchester, and then I came over here it was 1886, I believe it was, and Deirdre brought the kids, of course, and I had to make sure they were happy, but they didn't do too much. It wasn't long before, I remember going to the university, the Miskatonic University, and it was a beautiful place at the time, but now I find Arkham has been in such a rabble of sort. Vagrants here and there, vermin infesting the streets, but you can still get a great cup of coffee downtown if you know where to look, so to speak. I find myself often looking at the wine club of sorts. I enjoy that. The opera's gone a bit, but you spend most summers out in
So 10 minutes later, in the middle of his speech, I just kind of say,
Well, I think Harlem is most interesting. So I didn't catch your name, gents.
Oh,
I
we're
wake
already
up.
gone. We're already gone.
What? 'Twas Seymour Chapman. Where? Seymour Chapman. That's the name when you're in town. And you drive away.
Poor lonely guy.
He was.
There's like burn marks. There's burn marks on the road.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So you drive up the road.
Follow his
and-
directions. We follow his
So-
directions, yeah, to the
Perfect. So
observatory.
you follow his directions, and a little bit up the road, you see that the path, very hidden, but it does split up a small hill to what you presume would be what he explained as an old observatory. And again, the observatory he described was small in stature, maybe made by a family of sorts who enjoyed stargazing. And as you make the turn off and you drive up the small hill, you come across on the horizon the rusted roof of the observatory. Yeah, you drive up and you stop the car, and you open the door, and as you do, the heat beams down on you, but you hear the wind pick up slowly. You know, a welcome escape from the sweltering heat, and while the midday sun beats down on you, you see the long shadow cast by the observatory offering some refuge next to your car.
All right, let's take a quick look around before we go in, I say, guys.
Well,
sure.
Do you think we're coming to an observatory?
I'm gonna look around for any like dog prints.
It was the only
Dog prints. Okay.
Yeah. It's the only thing the guy gave me.
Yeah. So, and again, looking at the observatory, you see a single door on the front of it, locked with a padlock. And roll a spot hidden, Jarrett. And so this is it, by the way, just so you see. It's rather small. And anyone can roll anything they want. Spot hidden, listen, anything like that.
I'm going to use a luck and just push it so that it becomes a pass. I just need 1 point of luck.
Okay, so you push it and you pass. And you take a look at the ground, and with the sun above your head beating down, you do see faint tire tracks. Old, but not so old as to rule them out as Edwards. Too much time has passed to be able to decipher things like human feet or dog or anything like that. But you can definitely make out distinct tire tracks.
So I'll point them out to the guys. Be like, gentlemen, it looks like someone has been here relatively recently. Perhaps we follow them? See where they lead?
So the tire tracks actually lead right up to the door, maybe only a few feet from it.
Why haven't we... There's a lock, you said, on the door?
There is a padlock on the door, and you take a look at it, and you probably could pick it. But even with the age of the door, you could probably also knock it down if need be.
Well, I'll try to pick it first.
Okay, so give me a lockpick roll.
No success. I'm going to use some luck points, because I don't use these much. How many can you use?
I think we said up to 10, but I think I doubled it to 20 for nicety, but we'll say 10.
I'll use, let's say 8 of them to make it a pass.
Perfect. Okay. So with a click, the padlock opens and falls to the floor.
Yes, Justin?
So while this is happening, I just want to walk around the perimeter and just see if there's any way of looking in, if there's any cracks in the wall or...
Okay. So you take a small walk around the perimeter, and again, the entire building is only to the one door. The dome roof does look pretty high, and there is a slit. However, that slit is closed, minus only a shiver of a crack.
Right. Okay,
and you come back around to see Henry picking the lock, and it clicks open.
You smell anything? I don't have a good feeling about this.
Okay. So,
do we smell anything? Like at the bottom of the door, is there a crack that?
You can sniff if you want. Give me a.
Well, I might as well just. I open it a little bit. Or listen.
Or well, listen. We'll use as perception. We'll use as smell.
You want me to do it, Justin, or you got it?
You go ahead.
All right.
Listen with your nose.
Well, it wouldn't do a good job. Where is listen?
L.
Ah, there we go. Success.
Okay, so you lean on the door and you do smell something, a faint whiff of warm, irony
blood.
Yeah. and rotting flesh.
There's definitely something in here.
Let's just hope it's a dead raccoon.
I go back to the car and I get my flashlight.
Okay.
I come back over and I open the door and I say hello, and I kick the door open slowly.
Perfect. All right. So, slowly, you kick the door open, and it creaks with a soft sway in the wind. And as the door opens, all three of you recoil a little bit as the hot, wet, putrid-smelling odors attack your senses. And it's a combination of vomit, urine, and feces, and they offend your senses as you stare into the dark observatory. Only a small slit of light shines down into the room before you. And as your eyes adjust to the darkness, you see a red blood color covering the walls. And you take a step in, and on the far side of the room, you see a small lump lying curled up under a blanket. It sits next to a small sea of jars filled with urine and a soiled bedspread. And as you approach, the smell becomes stronger. And only feet away from the figure beneath the sheets, you suppress the gurgle of vomit behind your tongue. And again, it's a small figure beneath the blanket.
I lift the blanket off.
So slowly you reach out to the small shape beneath the blanket and you pull back the sheet, revealing a sea of maggots and flies devouring a corpse in the dim light of the observatory. And you choke back vomit. And as you keel over, your eyes glance again at the body beneath the blanket. Its brown coat and dog tag tell you that it's Roland's dog, not his daughter. And with a sigh of relief, you begin breathing again, stepping back as you take one last look at the red blood that covers the walls, and you realize that it spells out a word. 3 words. The 3 soldiers, painted out in large, blood-colored paint.
Well, I'm sick to my stomach.
Yeah, everyone roll sanity. Yeah.
So you have to get under it, right? I got under it.
Under is 1, fail is 1d4. Okay, so you can do a spot hidden if you want, or...
Well, the jars obviously aren't for the dog.
Yeah, give me and actually on that train of thought, give me a spot hidden.
Okay, it's good.
Okay, so yeah, you take a look around, and based on what you see and what you smell, it looks to have been used by a young girl for a few, maybe a few days, weeks ago. But again, she has long since left, and there's nothing to indicate where she's been taken. You look under the bedspread, you look between the, jars and try to avoid the carcass, but there's nothing that seems...
Is the observatory open?
Only a crack.
Can I look through the lens? Can I check to see if the lens is in and take a look?
Oh no, sorry. There's no telescope inside. It's only the shell of the observatory.
Okay.
And as you look around the room, you notice, based on the jars of red paint, by the words written, and the carcass under the blanket and the jars, you stand back and take a look at the scene, and it comes to you as a tableau. This isn't something that was left in haste. This is something that was...
Like it's purposeful.
Yeah, it was meant to be discovered, and you get the eerie sense that it was meant to be discovered by you 3.
Well, do you think they're not talking about us when they say the three soldiers, are they?
There are three of us. Are the bodies laid out? Is the body laid out in a particular way, or the jars, or anything?
No. Again, the twisted way that the dog was hidden by the
Is trying to play with their thoughts about the little girl.
is what it seems like. And again,
is it a dog tag?
yeah, the dog tag has the address of Roland's house, and that's about it.
Do you think that Edward was told to do this, or do you think he was definitely told to do this? This wasn't. Do you think this was him?
I don't think this. I don't know. Seems like it would be.
And as you're looking at the painting on the wall, you realize this is now the second or third time you've come across this phrase, the three brothers. It was mentioned...
Three soldiers, right?
Three soldiers, sorry. It was mentioned as a whisper to the young girl when she was in the Undercroft. It was written on the tombstone in the Undercroft. It was also... it also appears here.
Well, it's obviously significant, but...
If Edward wanted us to see it, why would he try to kill us? When he was down there, why would he use that as his time? If he wanted us to see this so badly.
Maybe someone else pulling the strings knew that we'd outlast Eddie.
That's the only thing I can think of.
So, do we just play his game? Right now, I feel like we're several steps behind whoever this sick fuck is. We just play his game and walk into all of his traps that he's laid for us, all these mind fucks he's set up for us.
What do you suppose we should do, Frank? Give up even when there's a chance there's a little girl up there?
No, I'm not saying we should give up.
We do need to get ahead of him. I agree.
I just feel like I'm being baited here.
We are being baited. Every time.
Unless we're prepared and we know something.
Give me a piece of paper, Jarrett. Something to write with.
So I tear a piece out of my sketchbook, and I also offer you my pencil.
So I go over to the I go outside to the tread, and I try to make a little rubbing of it to have it for reference in the future.
Okay.
So that way we can compare it to other tread of any cards if we get any more tracks.
Perfect.
Is there any...
I gotta think about this. We gotta sit and talk and think about this and figure out what the hell is going on. Really try to connect our leads.
What could the three soldiers be?
Well, there's always a place you can go to check.
Miskatonic University?
Let's all go to the library. Let's all go to the library. And actually, people on the stream are also recommending the same.
Oh, okay. Well, that would come from Jared, I'd imagine.
Yes, sir.
Hunker down in the library for a while.
Think about this.
Oh, is that what you decide to do?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, so you decide to make a trip to the library. Enough information has come your way, speaking of this three soldiers and things like that, that you feel it might be worthy of researching into. So, as you all wearily and nervously leave the observatory, the realization that this young girl's life lies in your hands begins sinking in. And solemnly you enter into the car and make haste to the library at Miskatonic University. And the drive back is quiet. Between the three of you, you share glances, but for the most part, you stay very quiet and still as you pull up in front of the university library and exit the car walking in. Beep pew.
All right.
So,
We start, Jarrett.
you enter the library, and from behind a stack of books, you see a head pop up, and it is the librarian, as Jarrett, spending many nights here, recognizes as Dr. Henry Armitage. And immediately you notice he does look nervous, like he spent many nights awake, transcribing something. And nervously he kind of asks if you need any help. You don't need any help, I should say.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure to see you again, sir. Are you okay? Are you well?
Oh, yes. No. Just a little pet project I'm working on. Something that's been bothering me as of late, keeping me up most nights. But no, believe me, it's completely good. It's good. It's all good.
And I'll say, if you could, sir, and I'll take out my sketchbook, and I'll flip to where I did the drawing of the gravestone with the 3 soldiers from the church cellar.
Okay.
And I'll ask him, sir, do you know any books? Have you ever heard any reference to anything like this before?
Oh, so he takes a sketch from you and kind of looks at it. Neat, Walden. That does not sound familiar, but this Latin down here, it translates loosely to the 3 soldiers. I don't recognize that too much, but you know what I do? Actually, we have a new one, and he hands you back your book, and he goes to a stack of books that have yet to be filed, and he starts going through them. Yeah, I thought it sounded familiar, and he flips around, and he hands you the book, and it says 3 Soldiers by John Dos Passos. And he kind of says, yeah, this one looks a bit interesting. The famous writer tells the story of 3 young men in the World War who each had a different meaning behind it. But, you know, it's interesting. And he kind of sits back. But he kind of hides a little bit. He says, well, you don't care about this.
Oh, believe us, we do.
Well, oh, come with me. And he heads to the back of the library where there's a small seating section. And assuming you follow?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the 3 of you walk, and again, the massive bookshelves, mahogany wood just glisten in kind of the midday sun as you reach the back of the library to a quiet reading section where there's a few other students reading off to the side. And he sits down and leans forward and says, this author, good author, very derivative of certain things, but I remember hearing about this when he first wrote it. It's actually not an original work. He took it from an old text, I believe. Some sort of a legend about 3 soldiers that had gone to war and come back, and he based each of the characters on them. And he kind of flips through and he says, yes. No, you know, I did read this one. You have 3 soldiers, one brave, one business-minded, one craving power. You know, very, very trifecta of good, evil, and neutral of sorts. Yes, no, it was based on, and he sets the book down, something, and he gets up, and in a flash, he's off into the library searching for something. And after a few moments, the 3 of you kind of looking nervously at each other, he comes back with a very old-looking page. He says, yes, I think this will be of help. And he slides it over to you. And what you're looking at is a page in the original Latin of something called the 3 Soldiers. And he stands up and says, Yes, sorry, I need to make myself scarce for the time being. I believe there is a faculty meeting, but this is everything you should find. And he quickly stands up and begins walking out.
Oops.
Just one more thing, sir.
Sorry.
One more thing, sir, and I apologize.
No.
Yes.
And I quickly flip to the picture with the symbol of the black goat, and I say, if you could think on this, sir, while you're in the meeting, if you recognize this.
And he kind of nods, and he says, "Oh, yes. I believe I could find something for that."
Excellent thing. Do you know how long your meeting will be, sir?
Oh, I'm not too sure at this point. Maybe the rest of the day.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate your help, sir. It's good to see you again.
Oh, of course. Anytime.
Are you posting that?
What's that?
Perfect. Never mind. All right, let's try to translate that.
Okay, well, I just got a hard success on my Latin skill.
Ooh. Well,
3 soldiers known
that's something I
as
didn't
Irwin
account for,
and
so-
and Nash. Irwin is religious, a religious solitude who's a very intelligent, possibly profunda, which is probably deep, and something.
So Jarrett kind of takes a look at it, and having studied Latin at certain times, he can read pretty much what it says. And he decides to read it out.
So the 3 soldiers were known as Irwin, Enti, and Nedish. Irwin was a man of great... Oh, where did we go? I lost it.
Irwin was a man of great religious understanding, deep and passive. It's right here, Jarrett.
Oh, in the... gotcha. Sorry. My mistake. You guys are so smart.
Don't ever forgive for being yourself.
Irwin was a man of great religious understanding, deep and passive, a great military strategist, and honorable man. He led a good life and met his death on the battlefield. Enti was a cunning man, clever and distinguished. He was well-read and often spent time with the scribes in order to fine-tune his skills. He was a brilliant mind at reading his opponent and was often 3 steps ahead of them. Nedish was bold in his pursuit of power, relentless and strong-willed. He often blurred the lines between right and wrong. He was also one of the first known persons with the heterochromia. Not sure if I got that word right.
Heterochromia.
Heterochromia. Each are buried in various cemeteries which can be found in The Last Breath, a historic guide to the last known resting place of the greats. Bin number 132451243.
And as you're finishing up the reading, you do see Dr. Henry Armitage pop back in and say, "Oh, I thought I had a meeting today, but today is Monday, isn't it? Or Sunday? I thought today was Monday." He says, "No, never bother. You found it. Interesting story. It is a children's tale, I believe, of some sort, back in the late centuries of some sort."
Do you know what happened to them? It says that they were all in the military, I guess. But, well, you said, yeah, they're all in the military. But what happened to them? What's the actual story? This just describes who they were.
No, I'm not too sure exactly what the tale is. Again, this is a page that was torn out and categorized in more of our tough to find section, so to speak. The clever tomes, the ones you need to read with gloves and all that sort. Oh shit! And he picks it up as you clearly don't have gloves. He says, "Well, I should definitely not have done that." Either way, the entire passage, I believe, was lost at some point, and this is all that survived. But either way, it's always interesting to read.
And do you have a copy of this historic guide to the last known resting place of the greats?
And he takes a look at it, and oh, yes, I think I do. And he stands up and he asks you to come to the front. And you follow him. And again, as you ponder over what you've just learned, you approach the front of the large library, and there's a young man waiting before you. And he kind of nods to him and says, "Just a minute." And he turns around to a large card catalog where he picks out the VIN number, pulls it out. We don't have it. No, well, I mean, I should say, we have it, but it's not here. Actually, it's been out a rather long time. My God, how did we miss this? This book, this last known resting place of the Grage, was checked out, my God, nearly 30 years ago. I can't believe that.
Yeah, those dues must be extraordinary.
Well, the dues must be extraordinary, but the book is very vague in its recollections. It's simply...
Does it have the name of the last person that...
yes, actually, some Anna Stansvik, it looks like. A young Polish girl of some sort. Not too sure. With no known address, so I guess they never tried collecting it back, but she kept it for all we know.
Anyone else think that Harlan's doing a Giles impersonation?
That's what Dr. Henry Armitage is based on.
That's so awesome. Can I look at everyone's eyes? Do I have that?
Yeah, if you want. Oh, heterochromia?
Yeah.
You can look at yourself. No, you don't have it, and you kind of glance at everyone else. None of you three have it.
Okay.
Well, that's interesting.
Do you know anything about this symbol that we also have? Seems to me it's been showing up a lot, and maybe you'd be the person to talk to about it. And I asked for Jared's book and show him the symbol.
And he says, "Well, this is the symbol you showed me earlier."
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. No, I don't recognize it, but I can ponder on it a little bit. Again, I mean, there's so many undiscovered symbols. I mean, it would take years to ponder through them. But if you'd like, I can take a quick sketch of it and keep it here in case it trickles down through the cracks, so to speak.
Please.
So he kind of roughly scratches it down, kind of ponders on it for a second, and tucks it away. He says, "Well, I'll think on it, but I wouldn't hold out too much hope. You can always check back in, or I can contact you if you have a number."
Yeah, you can contact me, and I give him my number.
Perfect.
Give us a call there.
Because we're so often at home.
Smiles. Anything else for you?
Jarrett, can you think of anything else?
Do you know a Dr. Webb?
Webb? No. No Dr. Webb. Not to my recollection.
Who's this Dr. Rudy? Oh, that's your friend. You don't know the Katowskis at all? You don't familiar with that name?
Katowski. No? No?
Beatrice?
I feel like I'm rather being grilled for information here. Look, the library is always open. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Any motions to the young one behind you? Yes, I can help you now. And he checks out a book for him.
Okay, Henry, Jarrett, any ideas? Or do we call it a day?
I think we have a lot to ponder.
Yeah, why don't you tell me where you're heading off to next, and we can end it there. So we have a lead to jump on next game.
Well, this girl's missing. We should definitely figure this out before it's too late. So let's try to squeeze in as much as we can. What?
Do you guys?
Where? At night. That we can't investigate at night.
No, it's still the afternoon, late afternoon. Apparently, Chris missed that the book checked out 30 years ago was by the girl at the mansion, Anna Stansik. So in case anyone else missed that, that's who checked it out.
Got that, but what do we do
So,
with that information?
well, the timeline of the girl is that she was at the house 30 years ago. She went down to the basement and clearly escaped, because after which point she checked out a book from the library. So you guys seem to be 30 years behind the trail of this girl.
My guess is that she looked in the book, found an address of the cemetery that one of these people was buried, and went there.
It's possible.
Maybe,
So is the book
probably
still at the library? Still back at the apartment? Or
Yeah,
the,
but if she escaped, then we need to find her aunt. That's probably who she came and lived with.
That's a good point.
That's a good idea.
And Beatrice?
Aunt Beatrice, exactly.
Okay.
You're right
So,
on the money.
Then let's do this real quick, because it'll be a nice start to the next game. You decide to follow the lead to find out what this young girl must have found out in this book all those years ago. The Three Soldiers has appeared in many times throughout this, and you find it must be in some way connected to the missing girl, to what Roland was originally sent for, to this mystery behind what is driving you and what hunts you. As you get back in your car, you realize you have no idea where this Aunt Beatrice lives.
Oh, okay. We wouldn't have looked her up in like the archives or anything.
At the library?
Yeah.
The library? Sure. So you head back into the library and you say, I want to look for anything to do with a Beatrice.
An Aunt Beatrice.
An Aunt Beatrice.
Yeah, but we
Something-
could look in. They might have a phone book there, and we can look for Danzig.
True. You can try that. Sure. So you grab a phone book and you start flipping through.
Because we don't. Did we ever know Aunt Beatrice's last name?
No.
But so she's the aunt to Anna, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
But it was
So-
the sister of the sister.
That's
Sister
right.
of
So
the
we're
mother,
looking
so we
for
don't have a last name.
a sister-in-law to Miss Stanzik.
Yes, sir.
So that should help us at least to narrow it down.
Birth sister to Stanzik, not sister-in-law.
Oh, that makes it even easier.
That makes it tougher.
Does it? Why does that make it tougher?
I know the maiden name.
Because the sister would take the name of the man, Stanzik.
Right. So the mom of Anna took Stanzik, which means the mom is the right. So Beatrice is the sister-in-law to Stanzik.
No, sister to Stanzik. Sister to the woman. Sorry, I should say.
Yes.
I gotta understand.
So Chris is correct. Sister-in-law to Stanzik.
Yes, sorry. I was
Yeah.
thinking the woman was
So we
Stanzik.
need to find the sister-in-law to Stanzik.
You need to find the sister-in-law to Stanzik. Yes.
So we
so
just
we're
need to
not-
find out who the marriage certificate for Mr. and Mrs. Stanzik, which would have the maiden name for Aunt Beatrice.
They might not have been born here. Remember their
Which
Polish
would
or
actually
Hungarian
Aunt Beatrice would be Beatrice is the first name, right? Yeah, we'd find the marriage certificate, which would be on file.
Sure. They might not have been married here, but it would be worth checking out.
And what about high society, Arkham High Society? We might be able to find some articles about the most influential people in Arkham, the richest people in Arkham.
You could do both. Hoping that she's that rich. Okay, so which one would you like to try first?
Well, I think mine's going to turn into a dead end, so let's try mine.
All right, so you want to check the marriage certificates to find the maiden name of the maiden Stanzik.
Yeah.
Okay, so Town Hall would probably have the marriage certificates, but maybe the library. Well, it's a university library, suppose.
Yeah, either
But
one.
again, they might even have Anna Stanzik's address.
Well,
might
he
find
did
both.
say that he didn't have the Stanzik address, otherwise he would have
No,
tracked
but
down
it's City
the...
Hall.
Yeah.
They might, but the Stanzik address
Because
is
of a
most likely
census
the
or
mansion.
something?
Yeah. Well, okay, so you head in the car and you drive over to the town hall, the record keeper. And
yeah.
you head in, and there's a young woman with glasses sitting behind the desk, and she looks up to you pleasantly.
Hi, miss. How are you?
Good. Yourself?
Good. We're just coming from Miskatonic University, and we're looking for a book. Funny enough, the last person who had it was 30 years ago, and we're really trying to find a connection to her. It sounds strange, I know, but we're looking for any records on the Stanzik family. Could you help us out with that?
Well, possibly the Kowalskis.
Kolowskis.
Kowalskis.
I can check.
Check both names if you could. Yeah. Would that be okay, miss?
Yeah. So she checks Stanzik, and through her little cue cards, and nothing really comes up. She says there is a Stanzik, Conrad Stanzik, owns property north of Arkham,
Is that what's the address there?
17 Miller Lane.
Was that where we were?
Yes.
Yeah, that's and was it Conrad?
Conrad Stancic. It's just it's a
And,
title to the land.
Was that the name of the husband or just a title?
It's the name of the husband who owns a title to that land. But it
Yeah,
seems
and the name of his wife, if you don't mind. Maiden name, if you got it.
No, there's no maiden name here. In fact, it's just for Conrad Stancic.
Okay. And what about the Katowskis?
Oh yeah, I can check. And she checks, and she says, nothing in marriage. How long ago was this?
This would have been close to 30 years ago.
I could always try death records.
Yeah, that might be a good place to go.
And she kind of spins around to another drawer and starts flicking through them. And she pulls out a file. Oh, yeah, no, Katowski. Yeah, no. Sorry?
Stanzik?
No, Katowski. They were murdered 7 years ago.
Do you have any information on that?
Give me a persuade.
No.
Okay.
Clubber. No.
You want to try to push it? Reroll. Anyone else want to try something?
I'll try a credit rating. I'll say, you can trust us. There we go.
And you give her a buck.
What's that?
And you give her a buck?
Well, credit rating isn't necessary.
Well, you're just telling her that you're rich. If you're just telling her that you're rich without giving her anything, it's not really persuade.
Well, it
trustworthy.
It's like,
it's
trustworthy.
You can give me credit.
Do you trust people that are richer than yourself? Is it inherent? Are they tied together?
I do.
No, but credit, it doesn't necessarily mean money all the time. It could be like, he's creditable.
It could be credit card.
I'm truthful.
Okay. So, well, either way, you succeed with enough degree that it would be a pass. So, she kind of has the file in front of her. And she says, Mr. and Mrs. Katowski, yeah, no, it looks like they were murdered 7 years ago. We don't have the details of how, but they didn't have any family, no kids. This is a little bit odd, but their funeral was paid for by someone who's not family, doesn't seem. Coldwell, Beatrice Coldwell.
Hey, Aunt Beatrice.
She paid for the funeral. I guess she marketed it as anonymous, but we have the records because it all goes in their file. So I don't know if that can be any help. And she puts the file back in the drawer.
Okay.
Is Miss Coldwell still around?
Coldwell?
Or
She checks the death records. No, there's no Coldwell in here.
So she's still alive.
I guess.
You have an address on file for her?
And she kind of eyes at a phone book across the room.
Thanks, miss. I nod to her and I walk over to the phone book.
Perfect. So you flip it open, do a quick search for Coldwell, and you see a big black printed B before the word Coldwell, and the address is for a beautiful mansion to the east of Arkham. And we'll just end here after you guys arrive. So you pile back in the car, and you approach the massive estate of this Aunt Beatrice. Before the drive, the long drive leading to the house, there is a massive wrought iron gate closing off the drive. The house sits in a large open field up atop a small hill, and you can immediately tell that the fence is much too large to climb. However, sitting on your side of the fence, to the left side, the large, massive, double wrought iron fence, is a mailbox with its hand sticking up.
Well, let's hit it with a baseball bat. All right, let's go.
Oh, let's check.
Oh, is this? Sorry, this is a fairly derelict building.
No, this is a beautiful mansion.
Are there any lights on?
It's afternoon.
I want to go check the mail.
It's a very secluded street. Most of the gate is brick walled with trees on either side. The only spot that's viewable, which is in line of sight of the mailbox, is the large wrought iron gate. But the other side of the street is just a brick wall of someone else's property. For the most
Funny
part,
thing is, I never even really hesitated to shoot Savini, but now it's like, well, you know, reading mail.
Mail fraud, guys.
All right, let's go. Why would we read the mail though, Frank?
Because the flag's up.
Good enough for me. I walk over and I open the thing to take them.
Well, walking by the gate, you see that it is secure. It's unbreachable. There's obviously no electronic mailbox to contact. And aside from waiting outside the gate, you're not getting in. So at this point,
It's like all we got, really.
it's the only lead you have. So you walk over, pop open the mailbox as Jared and Frank exit the car, checking all around. And the three of you crowd around the mailbox as you flip through a few pieces of mail. Nothing too substantial. But give me an... give me an education roll.
Okay. What? Mine, it didn't work. It's not working.
Natural 1.
Ah, there we go. 7.
Okay, so it's still good. Perfect. So as you're flipping through the mail, nothing's really sticking out except for a large piece of card protruding from the back, which normally you would have flipped by, but you stop on it. The handwritten gestures on the front seem to strike you for some reason. It's a lavish card, and it's what looks to be an invitation for a party being held tonight at 8 o'clock. However, the card is filled out by two brothers, Tom and Mark Argon, and there's a space for "and guest." It's been filled out in pencil as declined, with a small note that says, "Sorry, B, it would be great to finally meet you face to face, but Mark has a bit of the flu, and I don't think he's up for the dining and dancing that your parties are famous for." Now, someone give me a spot hidden.
I'll leave it to someone else.
Should have left it to me.
Okay, so no, you stand there with the card in your hand.
Well, want to go to a
She's
party?
got a dog. Yeah. Sure. Mark and Tom +1.
Mark and Tom Argon +1.
And it said, sorry, who?
Sorry, B. Short for Beatrice.
Beatrice.
And she says, "We have not," and he said, "It would be great to finally meet you face to face."
Ah, okay. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Henry?
I am.
All right, so we got a really long trench coat.
Oh, Jared, you're muted, buddy.
World's tallest doctor.
Sorry, I was thinking. You're thinking what I'm thinking? If it was only a 3-hour cruise, why did the Howells bring all the money? Pinky in the brain there, folks.
All right. Well, we need to get some tuxedos.
So, as you're standing there, the gates open, and as you've been distracted, you see a older, very proper-looking and formally dressed man with the posture of an arrow and white linen gloves open the gate, who had just walked down the long drive from the house, and he quickly turns to look at you.
Are we early?
Henry, why don't you give me a sleight of hand roll?
Oh, okay.
Because you're holding all the mail.
Thank you for throwing me a bone. Nope.
Okay, you can push it, or if someone wants to donate a...
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I was just going to put my, well, what is it called? My invitation in here for you. But since you're here, I might as well tell you myself. I will be attending. We will be there tonight. Sorry. Tom Argon. Oregon. Oregon?
Argon.
Let's do a bluff. Let's give us a bluff.
Argon. Nope.
Do you want to push it, or do you want someone to help you?
Push.
Okay, push it.
Boom. Got there.
So as the man stands at the bottom of the the bottom of the drive, he kind of stares at you coldly, and you look at his face. He's an older man, lines on his face, and he has a faded birthmark on his forehead. And he kind of just stares at you for a second. And then after a beat, he smiles. And with a European accent, he kind of says, "Ah, yes, good afternoon. It will be wonderful to see you tonight." And he hands out his hand waiting for the mail.
I give him everything but the invitation.
Okay. And he takes it back. He says, "Ah, you'll hold on to the invitation?"
Oh, it's such a well-done invitation. If you don't mind, I wouldn't mind a keepsake. And since I got to see you, you can just pass on the message if you don't mind.
He says, "Well, I think you'll still need to bring the invitation tonight, but we'll see you then." And he looks you over and says, "But you might want to dress a little fancier." And he turns around, takes 2 steps, and shuts the gate behind him. And we are going to end there. Thank you all so much for being with us tonight, watching along, giving these guys some fantastic advice, and being a part of this game that we have enjoyed so much playing. Give yourselves a round of applause.
I hope you're clapping at home.
I hope you are, yeah, just in the silence in your basement. So thank you guys so much for doing this. We love doing this. Please, please, please submit some options for the poem. We have another great stanza. That's the book that Henry is so nervous about, Henry Armitage at the library. Please post. Give us some great MVP community posts. I think they're fantastic, and we just love doing them, or love talking about them. We're going to have our weekly Enigma up tomorrow that one of these 3 guys hopefully have done, and you can submit your answers to that. And again, if you win that, you get an answer, you get to XP that you can spend and help these guys if you've seen in this game. And finally, I forget the last thing that we do. What's the last one?
What'd I say?
The poem? No, there was one more thing I want to remind people about. Oh, I did want to, because it's new. Hans and Chris, again, have done that Google form. Check it out. It's awesome. Go on, add some leads that you might have noticed tonight, some questions that might have popped up tonight, things that you want them to follow on, or things they might forget, because that document is keeping everyone on their toes and making sure that everything is going great. So, thank you so much to all you guys doing that. Well done one more time for being here. We love doing it. And as Chris always says,
see you around the table.
See you around the table, guys. Good night.